This is gonna be a lot to take in. Cause I went so ham. This is a tier list. And we're gonna change these. We're gonna customize these. We aren't just gonna have SS and we're gonna make them personalized. They're gonna be special. This is going to be an exhaustively extensive tier list of Beauty and the Beast adaptation. So hear me out, okay? Let me explain. This is probably random, especially like if I do make this a YouTube video. It's like, I thought you were like the Fate person. It's like, well, let me tell you about my special interest. So I've done this for years now. I've done this for so many years. I think I started doing this when I was in like middle school, but either like every year or every other year, I do this thing where I try to find as many Beauty and the Beast adaptations as I can. I scour the streaming services, the internets, everything to try to find new ones, bad ones, good ones. I don't freaking care. I just want to find them. And I've seen so many. I also do this with Phantom of the Opera. And again, if this becomes like a fun stream, I'll do this with Phantom of the Opera too. Beauty and the Beast is like one of my favorite tropes or like genres of story, even though like there are like problematic things to it, but it's fantasy and it's fun and I like it and I like monsters, so yay. So that's why we're here. But I've seen so many. You do not understand. I cannot emphasize. Again, this presentation is over 40 slides of notes. I have so many notes. Also, if somebody comes across this and they're also Beauty and the Beast fan, and they get upset at my takes, I don't know why you would, but if you do, like, these are very much like, it's my opinion, and like, also, I'll try to explain how I judge them, but I'm not necessarily judging them by like, this is a good movie. Like, that's gonna be part of it, but it's mostly me comparing between the other Beauty and the Beast adaptations. Like, what one do I like the best, and why do I like it the best, and which one does the things that I like the best. That's how this is gonna work. So what even makes a good Beauty and the Beast for me? Well, and again, we're getting into this. This is gonna be a lot. The beast design has to be good. It has to be a cool monster man, and the beauty of the story needs to have a good dress. If her outfit sucks, I'm gonna be mad. And that's gonna play into this. They need to also have like a good good chemistry, or either like a good dynamic. They need to be interesting. If I don't believe the romance, it kind of sucks. That's the whole point of this trope, is that it's a romance. It also needs to like do something interesting with the original story, or it does the original story very well, which also, I need to explain the original story. Because if you've only seen like the Disney movie, they actually changed a lot from the story. The original tale, it's a French tale. There was an older version of the story, but I've never actually read that one. I've only read the abridged one, which is the one that, like, if you've read the actual, like, story, that's probably the one you've read. So basically, there's a merchant that has, like, 2 or 3 daughters, and then, like, 2 sons. And he's going off to check a boat to see how his goods are doing. And all of his kids ask for presents, and they all ask for, like, fancy things. And then Beauty, her name is actually Beauty, but Beauty just asks for a rose because she's a good child and asks for a simple gift. He goes to check the ship. Darn, the ship. All the cargo is gone. It's all messed up. Riches are gone. You're poor now. So he comes back, no presents, no monies. He gets lost in the woods. He finds Beast Castle. He hangs out there. He gets some food. He gets shelter for the night. His horse gets taken care of. And then as he's leaving, he notices roses. And he's like, wow, Beauty wanted that. I must take that. So he takes it. Beast gets mad, sometimes for a reason, sometimes just because he stole. Which it's like you fed him, but whatever. The rose is where the line gets tripped. Or broke. I don't know. Stood. I don't. What's the saying? Crossed. The line gets crossed. That's what it is. And then he's like, I'm gonna kill you. You stole my rose. It's like, what? And then he's like, please, no, my daughter wanted this. And he's like, oh, wait, you have a daughter? Okay, she can come in your place, but she has to come willingly. And it's like, oh, okay. So he goes back to his kids, and he's like, yeah, so all that happened. I'm gonna die. So everybody goes to bed, and then I think actually in the original story, Beauty's like, no, I'll take your place, father. And like begrudgingly, he takes her back, and they like spend one last night together. And then she's at the Beast Castle. And then what follows is just like magic and like them bonding, and like every night the Beast asks her to marry him. She says no, and there's like whimsy, and she's trying to like figure out the mystery of the castle. Eventually she finds out one way or another that her dad gets sick. She goes home, and the Beast is like, hey, if you don't come back in like a week, I'm gonna die of loneliness. And it's like, oh, okay. So she goes back home. And typically, like, her sisters are, like, they, like, trick her into staying home too late, or, like, they, like, convince her to stay home later so that the Beast will die. And then she's like, crap, I broke my promise. She goes back, she's like, oh my god, Beast, I'm sorry. And he was like, I thought you forgot me, but you're here, so now I'm happy, but I'm still dying. And then Beauty will be like, no, I love you, I will marry you. And then bada bing, bada boom, he's a prince. I think in the original tale, a fairy cursed him because he wouldn't marry her. Every adaptation does it differently. Sometimes it's because, like, the prince was like, oh, you're ugly, I don't want you in my house. Or it's like, he didn't marry the fairy. Or the fairy's just like, you suck as a person, I'm gonna change you into one, you don't even know me. Or some other reason. Like, there's so many reasons, but that's basically the story. So if they do that well, or do an interesting take on it, that's good. Also, they need to do something interesting or meaningful with the rose, because it makes no sense when the Beast gives Belle's dad food and shelter, and then is like, oh, you stole a flower from me? Well, that's penalty of death. It's like, dude, I ate a whole pheasant and you didn't care, but okay. And then also, the adaptation needs to not spend an ungodly amount of time on Belle's father, or Beauty's father, and it needs to spend more time on the couple, because there's some of these adaptations where literally half of the movie is setting up Beauty's dad, and Beauty's dad losing his money, and then Beauty's dad going to the castle, and then literally half the runtime is that, and it's like, I don't... Move this along. Move it along. Also, it just needs to make me happy. Sometimes it just needs to make me happy. That's what makes a good adaptation. But yeah, that's the rundown. So, now we can actually get to, like, the tier list. Generally speaking... Oh, I should explain something. Hold on. Let me hide me for a second. Ah! Okay. You guys can see my cursor, right? You can see this, right? You can see me spasming, right? So, this is not a tier list I made. I literally looked up on tier list maker, or tier maker. I was like, Beauty and the Beast adaptations. Boom. And and I found this was the one I liked the most because it had most of the adaptations. If for some reason you want to do this, but you want to do specifically the one that I'm doing, the first two rows are part of the tier list. This row and then these two at the bottom are ones I added. And I will say, like, the names of it, and most of them, I will say, like the year that they came out and stuff like that. So you won't be lost. Generally speaking, I am going to go in order. Unless, like, something special comes up. Because the order doesn't really matter. Oh, we need to make the tiers. We need to make the fun tiers. Okay, I'm gonna keep haven't seen. This one that says haven't seen. I'm keeping this one. F tier is gonna be, if I can spell, is gonna be gone from me. It was so bad, I don't want it near me again. We're not gonna have an E tier. I never like E tiers. Get out. And then we're also not gonna do like SS and like triple S or like, or no, double S. I like having just like an S. So we're gonna have Be Gone From Me, that is the worst tier. We're gonna have, oh no. That means it's bad. We're gonna have, it's fine. There we go. It's fine. It does the job. It tells the story. It doesn't necessarily do it in an interesting way, but it tells the story. B tier is going to be, it's lovely. So this tier is going to be like, it's better than like average, but it's not like the best. A tier, gonna be amazing. So good. They're basic. Some of them might even be perfect. They just aren't my favorites. And then this tier, hold on, it's gonna be purple because it'll be my faves. These ones are gonna be God tier faves. For whatever reason, these ones are my favorite. So to kind of get everybody adjusted, we're gonna do the Beauty and the Beast, like 1991. This is 91, right? Either 91 or 92. It is 91. I know my tism. But we're gonna do the Disney one first, because I feel like out of all of these, I feel like if you've seen a Beauty and the Beast adaptation, the Disney one is probably the one you've seen. So we're starting there. And I hate to like not be a contrarian and like not be like interesting or have an interesting take, but I'm sorry, this is a god tier fave for me. Sorry, like Disney knew what they were doing, okay? It changes a lot from like the original story of Beauty and the Beast, but it makes such good changes. Like Belle being an only child and like being like a weirdo in town, like that's so good. Her dad, like he's an inventor in this one. It's like, okay, that's fun, that's quirky. And then like, cause I didn't say, in the original tale there weren't like actual servants. They were like invisible servants. So like they were there, but they weren't like enchanted furniture that moved around. Like they might move the furniture, but they are not the furniture, if that makes sense. They were just invisible. So I do like all the changes they made. They made the rose like crucial. The rose is like, it's so important. If it gets hurt, the curse is worse. It's a timer. Like the rose is actually like meaningful, and the rose is also not what set off the Beast on Belle's dad. Belle's dad just being there is what ticked them off. Okay, I won't lie, some of this might be nostalgia, but I just think it's also just one of Disney's like best movies. I won't lie. Now I did say Maurice being an inventor was neat. He is oddly childish, and I don't know if I like that. Like rewatching it, I'm like, why do you Why do you do some of the things that you do? Like, when he's explaining to the town what's going on with Belle, like, I don't know. It's like, dude, just show them that Belle's not home. Like, did no one question? Like, bring them in your house and be like, hey, look, she's not here. She's taken. I didn't make that part up. But, I don't know. Maurice is... I go back and forth on whether or not I like Maurice, but generally he's okay. The designs are so great. I love that Belle wears blue, no one else wears blue, and then the Beast wears blue at the end when they dance. Poetic. Belle's gown is beautiful. The Beast's design, him being like this chimera of like a wolf, a bear, a like boar, and oh god, what else is it? He's a few different things. He's like, maybe cow? He's like a bunch of different things. He's a really cool chimera. I really like that. Because like sometimes with like Beast designs, they're just like a lion. And it's like, oh, okay. That's kind of boring. So I really like the Beast design. And then, you know, it's Disney, so the songs are great. The animation is great. Like, the cast, the voice acting's good. Like, it's good. I will say, there are like nitpicks people have with this movie that are like weird to me. Like, they'll nitpick the line in Be Our Guest where Lumiere is like, we've been resting for 10 years, and they take it literally, and it's like, okay, there's magic in this world, and this is a one-off line in a song. Do you really think you're supposed to take it literally? And maybe you are supposed to take it literally. Maybe they're frozen in time for 10 years. It doesn't necessarily mean he was cursed at 11. Like, freaking have some whimsy. Also, like, I've seen complaints where it's like, Belle's too perfect. And it's like, heaven forbid children have a good role model. But also it's like, I don't really think she's perfect. She kind of is very sure sometimes that like, her way is the right way, and it's not always necessarily the case, but she's just like a good moral compass. Her journey isn't her need to change. She's not the one that needs to change. She just needs to like find her happiness. She's self-realized as a person. The Beast is not. He's the one that needs to change, right? Also, like, the Beast being cursed was validated because, again, like I mentioned, sometimes the Beast just gets cursed because a fairy gets ticked off, and it's like, what? But in this one, he's like a douchebag. So it's like, okay, that makes sense. You got cursed. But yeah, 10 out of 10 S tier. The Christmas movie has Tim Curry in it. I really like it. I recognize it's not a great movie. Especially if like you try to like compare it with like the original one, because like Belle acts completely different and the Beast is just mad the whole time. But I like the Christmas movie. Side note, there's a thing called Belle's Magical World, and I think originally they were going to make a Beauty and the Beast cartoon the way that they did like Hercules and like Aladdin, but then they were like, we don't know what to do with this, so they just made like a 3-episode special and put it on a VHS. And it's also not great, but I like it because it's Beauty and the Beast stuff. Because like there's one story where they save a bird that got hurt, and the Beast wants to keep the bird in a cage because it sings a song and he wants to keep it safe, and Belle's like, no, the bird needs to be free and he's not happy in the cage, and it's like poetic and all that good garbage. And he like argues with her a bit, and he like goes back and he's like, no, it's my friend, I don't want to let the bird go, and he learns to let the bird go, yay. And then there's one, I swear one of them, the feather duster, thinks that Belle and Lumiere are dating and she gets mad. So then like, and Lumiere's just trying to set up a date with the feather duster, and they almost die, but then they get saved. I don't remember what the 3rd episode was about. They added more characters. They added like a book and a quill and I think parchment that were enchanted, that were characters, but I don't remember what their story was. I just remember that they exist. One more thing before we move on from Disney Beauty and the Beast. There's a live-action show from the 90s called Sing Me a Story with Belle. And basically, it's really cute. Again, I have nostalgia for it. They have a Belle actress. It's live action. And they have all these kids come on, and they're puppets There are two bookworms named Lewis and Carol. There's a cat whose name I'm forgetting. And then there's a book named Big Book. And they're all her, like, puppet friends, and they, like... The purpose of singing a story with Belle was to, like, extend their, like, copyright on their old animations, because Belle would sing them a story. And the visuals would be of old cartoons. And it's like, oh, that's neat. I didn't understand that as a kid, but as an adult, I'm like, okay, that's neat. But that's enough of Disney. Okay, now we're going to the Jean Cocteau Beauty and the Beast, which is this one from 1946. I think this is the oldest film for Beauty and the Beast, I think. There's probably like a silent film one from like the 1910s that like nobody has seen because it's lost media, but as far as I know, I'm pretty sure this one's the oldest. It's very enchanting, it's very beautiful, very gothic. It's also very cozy for me. I feel like the only reason people might not like this one is because, one, it's in French, so you have to read subtitles, boo-hoo. And then two, it's in black and white. I like black and white movies, I like old movies, so stuff like that doesn't bother me. But I know there are some people that just can't stand black and white movies. The costuming in this one is also, like, amazing. Like, the Beast design, you can kind of see him in this picture. He looks so good. Her dresses and her gowns are so great. Like, beautiful movie. There's a funny thing at the end of this movie where when he's a prince, Beauty's kind of sad about it. And she kind of misses the Beast because that's the dude that she fell in love with. And it's kind of funny because, like, he goes to her and he's like, could you love me? And she's like, well, I don't know. and then he's like, well, did you love the Beast? And she's like, well, yeah, I did. Like, oh, well, then could you learn to love me? And then she says yes, and then they ride off into the sky. All fancy. I don't remember if the rose was important in this one. It's been a little bit since I've seen this one, but in this version, it pretty much follows the tale from what I remember, but they had a few more characters, and he has Diana's pavilion on his castle grounds, which is basically this thing full of his treasure. And it's guarded by, like, magic and statues and stuff. It's very interesting. I can't think of another one that did that, but that one did. Also, the Beast is cursed because his parents didn't believe in spirits. Okay. But he has a cool horse. He has a cool horse. Also, there's a plot point in this one where the Beast's human form looks like one of Belle's friends that I think tried to, like, get with her. And her friends, oh yeah, spoilers for all these movies, by the way. But there's like a B plot where, like, her friends are, like, going in, I think one partially to save, or no, this is when she comes back. So they learn from her that, like, he's got, like, all these riches. So they go to, like, steal from him because they're like, screw the Beast, he sucks. And, like, they don't know that Beauty loves him now. And they go into Diana's pavilion, and because they do that, he gets turned into a beast. I don't think it's the same Beast design, though. But I think he dies there. But yeah, I don't know. I really like this one. It's so haunting and enchanting and beautiful. It's another God tier, S tier favorite. Love it. 10 out of 10. I love this one. Really the only thing is, like, I feel like if you don't like reading subtitles, or if you don't like older movies, you're gonna be like, I don't like this. But it's like, give into the whimsy. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful movie. Okay. Oh god, this one. Okay, this one here is a Beauty and the Beast from 1962. I've watched it once, and I didn't care for it. It doesn't really follow the tale, like, at all, but it also doesn't do anything interesting. The the Beast, he's like a normal like Giga Chad guy, but at night he turns into a beast, and the beast design isn't good. I don't remember like caring for this one. And it's so meh. It just wasn't memorable. Hold on, where's a picture of this beast? This movie is not in black and white, but for some reason I can only find black and white pictures of the beast. I can find pictures of him when he's human. And he's just a dude. He kind of looks like Superman, I won't lie. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't care for this one. Oh, well, okay. In Technicolor, oh my gosh. Hold on. Is this gonna be an easy image for me to save? God dang it, I hate WebP files. Stupid things that they are. I rewatched a lot of these in preparation for this. I had no intention of rewatching this one. I'm sorry. Like if it's a hidden gem, darn, I've seen it the once and I didn't care. And I think like the transformation that they do for it is just like a fade in and out kind of thing. They don't like, it's not like an interesting transformation. Okay. This is him. Yeah, I did. Didn't care for it. So yeah, this one. Like, I don't remember, like, anything interesting. Like, it's a freaking... Honestly, it might be a be gone from me. Like, it doesn't make me mad. I just don't remember anything fascinating about it. He's gorgeous? Shut up. What do you know? No. Okay. Ooh, this one. Okay. So this one is Beauty and the Beast from 2014. It's the other French one. But it also has a dub, and the dub, like, it's not awkward. It works well, but I like both. It's very gorgeous. In this one, Belle's room is really interesting. It's covered in, like, plants and flowers, and she has this pool that glows, and it heals you. So if you're sick, if you have a boo-boo, if your bones are broken, take a dip in this pool and you're good. Freaking miracle pool. It's so cool. Okay, so in this one, there aren't invisible servants, but there are these like little like gremlin dudes that like they look kind of weird and you're like, what the heck are they? But then when you figure out... Here, wait, hold on. Please let this be easy. I hate WebP files, my god. Alright, so if you look at this poster, there are these little, like, goblin guys on the sides, right? So those are, like, the closest things to, like, having little servants. They don't speak or anything. Spoilers for this movie. You later learn that because there's like hundreds of these little guys. Like if you look at this poster, there's 5 of them on this poster that I can see. There's literally like 30 of these dudes. And you later learn that they're like his little bloodhounds that got enchanted with him. They got enchanted into little like Funko Pop versions of themselves. I don't know. But yeah, like look at the costumes. They're so good. I love all her dresses are just so good. The castle is so whimsical. But yeah, all of her outfits hit. All of his outfits hit. His design is pretty good. He's mostly a lion. The dynamic between the two of them is interesting as well, because they honestly clash for like most of the movie. Like even towards the end, when like she's supposed to be a little bit more sympathetic to him, they're still kind of like, she's still kind of like unsure of him. It's interesting, like, but it's still like a believable romance. Other interesting things about this movie is that he was cursed because his first wife, he didn't know this, his first wife was like a forest nymph, And I guess during like certain times of the day, she would turn into a golden doe, and he would go hunting with his bloodhounds to catch her. And she would like subtly beg him of like, you should just leave the doe alone. And he'd be like, no. And he kills her. And she turns into like her human form, and she's like, well, that sucks. And her dad is like a forest god or something. So because of her death and him being like greedy and like wanting the vanity of like the kill and all that jazz, he gets turned into a beast. There's a lot of also like very cinematic and like intense moments. Like there's a part where Belle is running away from him because she's scared, rightfully so. And she runs onto this frozen lake, and it's so intense, and she breaks through the ice, and he has to like save her. It's so cool. There's also like a subplot where like these like thieves come in and they try to like steal stuff, kind of like in the 1946 version. But then like the forest fights back. It's great. Downside though, they leave the pretty castle, which it's like, I guess fair. You were traumatized in that castle, but it's like, man, I also think it may have crumbled once the curse got broken. But yeah, they leave the castle and they live like, I think they live with like Belle's dad, because they live in like the countryside, because the story starts with a woman telling two kids a story. It's Belle telling their children the story of how they met. It's cute. It's cute. I know we're having a lot of S tiers, but I promise you, they will not be S tiers. This one just has too much style for me to not put it up here. I really like this one. Ooh, I'm excited for this one. This one's interesting. Okay. So this next one, this guy down here, is the Happily Ever After Fairy Tales for Every Child Beauty and the Beast from 1995. So this series was a cartoon series where they would, I think one episode was one fairy tale. I don't think it was split up in halves. But every episode they would do a story, but instead of it being from its most likely European country setting, it would be like set in China, or set in Central America, or set in Mexico, or set in Jamaica, or just like they would be set in different places because it's fairy tales for every child. Like, I think when I was looking this up, like, I think the Princess and the Pea, it was either Chinese or Japanese, I don't remember. And so is Little Red Riding Hood. Like, they have a whole bunch. Some of them are really specific, and they'll be like, this one is very specifically from this country. The Beauty and the Beast one just said that it had like an African flair to it, so I don't know the specific culture in Africa that they're like, this is what this is based on. But the cool thing about this series is that, like, for the voice actors, they would have various people of color that are like they weren't necessarily voice actors. Like, they would be models or athletes or singers, or I think some of them were even like political activists. Like, they would have like a bunch of different people voicing this. The style in it is also super cute. I didn't think to get pictures for them to like show you what they look like, so that's my bad. Is this a WebP file? It's a JPEG! Finally, a JPEG. So yeah, so this is what they look like. The Beast is super cool. He's like a camel mixed with a rhino, mixed with like, he's got like claws. So I don't know if that's supposed to be like a lion or what. He's like a whole, he is like a lion mane too. Like, very cool chimera. Beauty is cute. I love her. I love that her braid is made up of hearts. Super, super cute. And then like the backgrounds are very like illustrative, and they look like storybook-y, and like they're much more pastel, so like the characters really like pop out in front of it. They're just, it's so cute. The Beast in this one is also like honestly like funny. but he's also like really understanding too. Like these two, even though this is only like a 30-minute cartoon, they genuinely feel like friends, like during the time that you spend time with them. Like they like casually hug and stuff, like before the romance stuff even like settles in. It's like, well, that's cute. There's also 2 songs. The Beast sings one and Belle sings one. They're both cute. The Beast one is like more on the fun side. I think Belle's is more like, or Beauty's is more serious, if I remember correctly. Also, normally Beauty's siblings are like bad people. They just suck. They're lazy, they're egotistical, they're vain, they're greedy. Like, Beauty is supposed to be like the golden child, right? Well, in this one, she's still like the golden child, but her siblings, they don't suck. You know? Because she has a brother. He's like a good person, and he cares about his family and stuff. He just likes being lazy. Like, his only vice is he likes sleeping. And then the sister, I think, just likes collecting clothes and jewels and stuff, but she's not mean. Normally, like, the siblings are like antagonistic to Beauty, but they are not. They are genuinely happy when she comes home, and like it's they have a sweet dynamic. Really, the only complaint I have with this version is that for some reason the voice acting, they're all like very quiet. They're very quiet, and they generally they read everything very chill. Like, they aren't bad voice actors. It's very soothing. It's not really high energy. Like, there's a couple times where the Beast will kind of yell, but generally speaking, like, it's not very loud. And sometimes it was kind of hard to hear them. But otherwise, I mean, it's great. It's amazing. Like, I would give it a good old amazing. It's fun. And honestly, like, if the rest of this show is like this episode, I mean, it's cute. I'd recommend it. Okay, this one is Sekai Misaku Dowa Shirizu Wao Miruhen Okoku, or World Fairy Tale Series. I think this was like Toei Animation. But yeah, so this one's confusing because there are 2 series of this. One from the 70s and one from the 90s. The 90s one is longer. The Beauty and the Beast one is from the 90s. This one, I call this one the quote-unquote Italian one. Because, like, well, obviously it's not Italian, it's anime. But for some reason, the version I was able to find to watch, it had subtitles, but it was dubbed in Italian. So to me, it's the Italian one, but not really. This one's just so funny to me because you can kind of see it here. The Beast, he has an okay design, but the entire time he makes like a little kitty ooh-woo face throughout the whole freaking cartoon. And it's so, because he's trying to be menacing, and you just see this like little 3 face looking at you, and it's like, okay. Alright, Beast. Sure, man. But yeah, the animation is fine. The style is cute. Like, it's 90s anime, so I'm gonna like it. The animation, like, they didn't move, like, incredibly, like, fluidly or anything. Like, it does the job. Honestly, this one's very run-of-the-mill. Like, it hits the beats it needs to. It's a fine adaptation. Except at the very end of the story, when the Beast is a prince again, and a fairy came out and was like, yeah, man, everything's back to normal, you're gonna rule this land, yada yada yada, everything's happy. There's a hastily done sentence at the end that a narrator's doing where they're like, and Beauty and her prince lived happily for the end of their days. And her 2 mean sisters get turned into stone statues because they didn't repent for being mean to her. And that's just a one-off sentence they say literally at the very end of the cartoon, and then roll credits. So for that reason, because it's funny, it's a lovely adaptation. That's a B. Otherwise it would be, it's fine. But no, because of the end, it's a B. All right. Oh god. Okay. This is the first one that we're going to have to shuffle a little. All right, so we're going to yoink this one. Okay, these two. I don't know if they're still a thing, but there was an animation company, studio, development thing, I don't know, called Good Times. And these two are confusing to find because Good Times technically made Beauty and the Beast twice. So the first one that I moved up, that one's the older one from 92. That one, there was a company called Golden Films. Golden Films is the one that did I say Good Times? Golden Films is the one that made it. Good Times was a separate company that did like books and stuff. They had Golden Films animated. So the Good Times Golden Films one, if I understand it, it is kind of confusing, so I might be wrong. This is Good Times Golden Films Entertainment version. This one is just Golden Films doing it again for some reason. They are, and because of that, they are very similar. Also, if you've ever watched the YouTuber Phaelus, some of his most popular videos are about Beauty and the Beast, so you may have seen them there. I love Phaelus's videos, so I recommend them. If you don't want to just watch them straight, you could watch them with Phaelus and he'll make fun of them. Generally speaking, the 92 one, so, this guy, is probably the better adaptation. I prefer this one. So let me explain. So for 92, the Beast don't wear pants. That's just a side note. It was off-putting. He wears a whole freaking like suit coat and everything. He has like a little cravat and everything, but God forbid he can't wear pants. I think he even wears shoes, which is even more upsetting. In the 92 one, Beauty is like super quick to be like content with the situation. Like once she gets there, she like at first she's like scared, rightfully so, and then like she gets her own room and she goes in there and she's just like, oh my god, and like there's pretty dresses in the closet and she's like, oh, the Beast must be kind and wonderful. And then she goes to bed and she has a dream about a fairy, and the fairy's like, hello, Beauty, I've come to talk to you. And the first thing out of Beauty's mouth is like, you're here to tell me that the Beast is kind and gentle, no matter what he looks like on the outside, right? Like, she's trying to metagame this, and the fairy's like, no, I'm here to warn you. And it's like, oh. Like, she's so quick to be content with her scenario. It's kind of insane. She's just kind of an airhead by proxy. There's also a part where, like, so in this one, there is one magical servant who basically just looks like human Mrs. Potts. Her name is Clara, and like she just does magic and she's just there to chill. And there's one part where Beauty and Clara are in the greenhouse and they're cutting roses to like put in this basket, and it's just like irony of like, girl, how'd you get here? So if you can't tell, the rose isn't important in this one, so it's like, okay, whatever, fine then. There is one, like, original song in this one that I think Beauty's voice actress sings, and it's okay. Like, honestly, it's fine. The rest of the music is, I think, just, like, taken from ballets and stuff. It doesn't fit half the time. It really just doesn't fit. But they also, like, they dance together, so that's sweet. That's nice. They get a little ballroom dance together. Yay. But, like, generally speaking, it's very run-of-the-mill. Her family's kind of funny, though. Her dad's kind of stupid. Her two sisters or whatever, they're basically just, like, ugly stepsisters kind of thing. But her two brothers are funny, because there's a part where she goes home, because that's what you do when you're Beauty and Beauty and the Beast. And she's, like, telling them about, like, how she came home and how the Beast is like nice to her and how he gave her nice stuff to wear and he's only been kind to her. He hasn't threatened to kill her or anything. And she tells her family, she's like, I have to go back in like a week, otherwise he's gonna die of loneliness. And her brother just goes, then let him die. And he says it so happily. It's so freaking funny. But yeah, otherwise this one's like very just like it's fine. This one is insane. the 97, yeah, the 90s. I think this one's from 97. I think. This one's just off the rails. So first off, if you watch these, the Beast designs are like oddly similar. Like you can tell they're different, but they're very close. But he wears pants. He wears pants. So he's not Donald Ducking it. He's got pants. But this one's just so weird because they add ghosts. They add ghosts. So like at the start of the episode, it's this meta thing of like there are these 3 ghosts looking at a book, and it's the Beauty and the Beast book, and it's like, oh my god, that's the cartoon we're about to watch. And they hear somebody walking up the tower that they're in, and they're like, oh, let's hide in the book, oh my god. But then it's like, okay, so they're meta-ing this for us, like they're gonna be our guides through this story, and they're basically like the servants in the castle by proxy. And it's like, you think like, okay, so this is just like a meta thing, right? It's not. Later, they drop the lore to Beauty's cat that when the Beast was human, their village, their like group, their community went to the prince to be like, hey, we lost our home in like a storm or something. We have little food, like little water, like no shelter. Can you help us? He turned all of them away and they died. And then he got cursed to be a beast because that's awful. And part of the curse is, hey, ghosts, you're stuck working for the beast until the curse is broken. That's awful. That's legitimately terrible. And it, like, sometimes in Beauty and the Beast stories, the Beast isn't always a douchebag. Like, sometimes he might be a little, like, gruff. But, like, a lot of the times, the Beast is generally just kind of like a chill guy. Once he actually meets Beauty and not her dad. But in this one, the Beast is, like, really angsty and just angry, and he's always looking for like a fight. For example, this doesn't literally happen, but there's like, I'm trying to remember what the scene was. There was like a part where Beauty mentions to him, oh, this castle is just like so beautiful and wonderful, and like he goes, but it couldn't possibly have an ugly beast inside. Is that what you're saying? And it's like, that's a new sentence. Like, he just goes out of his way to be mad. And he'll yell at her, and he'll, like, throw tantrums. Their chemistry is not believable in the slightest. It's just, it's so... It's... Oh my god. There's also a part where, like, right after, like, he yells at her, Beauty is, like, frazzled, because a big beast man just yelled at you. And she goes, like, running off, and she trips down his marble stairs onto the ground, and she should be dead. She very well should be dead, but she's not. She's fine. She just needed to rest for a bit. Staircase, it's not like 5 steps. It's like 30 steps that she just fell down that are marble. Side note, this one is actually also more of a musical. This one has more original songs. Beauty has one. The ghosts have a couple. Her sisters have one that's... I honestly like the sisters one. Also, her sisters are weird. She has 3 sisters, no brothers, but they're weirdly like targeted. So like one sister loves sleeping, and she wants perfumes that put her to sleep. Then one of them just likes eating a lot. She just likes food. And then there's like the oldest one that just likes dresses and stuff. This one's fine. It does the job. The animation isn't amazing, but it's not like abhorrent. Objectively, this one is like, the animation on this one is better, I will admit. I think the animation on this one is better. This one is probably the better adaptation, but this one makes me laugh, so this one goes higher because this one's funnier. Also, this one also uses, like, when it's not using the original music that they make for their songs, it's also using, like, ballet music that doesn't fit. Thank you for that. Was the fall funny looking? Hold on, let me see if I can get it for you. 'Cause, yeah, it was.
Is something wrong?
No, I only wanted to. That is, I'd like to thank you for your hospitality.
What'd I tell you? We are this close.
Of course you're welcome.
Your
Turn down the Swan Lake. Oh my god. I forgot how bad the mixing was in this.
castle is filled with such amazing things and mysterious things.
They've been collected over many years.
Still, it's so strange
What is?
that this castle, your castle, should be filled with such beautiful things.
While the master of the house is a beast?
That's not...
You will go now. You will go.
Breaking stuff. See, he's looking for a fight. Like, I'm sorry, she's dead. She's dead. Her, at the least, ribs are broken. Something's broken. The whole thing's marble. She's dead. Yeah, she does a whole front flip. It's like, girl, she's dead. Some of them are so bad it's good. Like that one honestly is, because like the audio mixing is bad, the animation has weird moments, the beast throws fits all the time. It's so funny. That's the only reason it's so high. It's so funny. Okay, what's next? Oh, okay. All right, so this one, I'm weirdly fond of this one for some reason. Well, okay, I do know why. So this is Burbank Beauty and the Beast from 1996. It's Australian, at least in that the studio is Australian. Oh wait, I have to get music back. But yeah, the studio's Australian, and like I have a fondness for this one because when I was a kid and I was like first looking for all these different adaptations to find, this was on, I had a Kindle. It was like my mom's old Kindle, and we had Amazon Prime, and I was just looking for like free stuff to watch, and again I just searched Beauty and the Beast, and this one was up there. But my nostalgia for it aside, this one's honestly like, it's just fine. To my memory, this one spends way too long on like Beauty's dad. Like I think a good chunk of this like 40-some minute cartoon is about Beauty's dad, like too much of it. He also says golly gosh and my word a lot, her dad. Golly gosh, my word. It's like, buddy, shut up. Get to the romance. This is what I'm here for. I'm not here to see Belle's dad have a midlife crisis about his merchant thing. Just set it up, get me in the castle. Her siblings are also weird. She has one brother and one sister. They're very whiny. Her sister's name is Roanna, but for some reason Beauty says Roanner. Just how she says it. Also, yeah, her name is Beauty, but then her sister's name is Roanna, and I forget what her brother's name is, but they also have just like regular names. Not an adjective. Her brother also, he has like a speech impediment, and that is his personality, is that he has a speech impediment. He stutters a lot. He stutters very much. They also, like, even when they're poor, like, because, like, originally they live in, like, a nice house, right? And then they, like, have to move to the countryside, but they keep their, like, live-in maid. I don't know how that works, but it does, I guess. And they have 3-course meals, even though they're poor. The Beast in this one is also, I don't know if you can really tell, he's oddly, like, slim. He's mostly like lion. His face has a little bit of like a bat look to it, but he's mostly just like a pale lion. But yeah, he's like, compared to like other beasts we've had, he's got like if you got rid of his animal head, he kind of just is a normal looking dude. Hold on, is this one a JPEG or a PNG or something I'll like? It's a GIF, but it doesn't move. Whatever. I'll use it. I don't care. This is him. As far as beasts go, he's very gangly. He's very scrawny. He has a very like gaunt face as well. That might be like the bat look to it. But yeah, he's just an odd chimera. I don't know. He also throws like massive fits a lot. Not as like extravagant as the other beast that I showed you, but he just like, he'll ask her to marry him and she'll be like, I can't. And he'll be like, no! And like scratch up the walls and like bang on stuff and then he'll leave. But he's very, everyone in this one's very whiny now that I think about it. Oh dude, he's got intense eyebrows. This one's mostly nostalgic for me just because of like, I watched it when I was first like finding all these. But yeah, I can recognize like it does the job. He gives her like new dresses and stuff, but she never changes out of the pink dress. She only ever wears this pink dress. Couldn't have splurged a little bit to give her a better dress. So it's fine. The highest it would go would be up here, but that would be nostalgia carrying it. Oh god. I just saw what's next. Alright, we just had a long line of animated ones. Now we get to Beastly, which is this one down here. So Beastly is from 2011. It's based off of a book under the same name. I have the book. I've read the book. To my memory, they are very similar. There's only like two big things that I remember being different. If you can tell, he's not like a beast here. And I'll get a better picture to show you what his like beast form is. But in the book, he's like an actual like big furry monster beast. And then also in the book, there's like a subplot about how he's in this like fairy tale support group. Mind you, this takes place in like our world, like real world. But he's in this like little support group chat where like other kids that have turned into fantasy monster things can like have a group chat together and talk. I forget who's all in the group chat. I think it's him, Cinderella, the Little Mermaid is in it for sure, and then I think there's another boy. I think maybe Jack and the Beanstalk. Throughout the book, there will be different times where he's like having chat logs with them and stuff. The only reason I remember that so vividly is because by the end of it, when he's human again and he has his beauty, at the end of the book, when they're like talking to each other about like their fairy tales are over, like book complete. So they're like talking to each other and Cinderella's like, oh yeah, I found my prince, everything's fine now. And like, you know, whatever the other boy character, like if it was Jack and the Beanstalk, he's like, you know, I got back down and like everything's safe and I'm chill now and blah blah blah. If you don't know The Little Mermaid, the Hans Christian Andersen tale, it does not have a happy ending. The ending of the Hans Christian Andersen tale is that essentially she puts herself through pain to be human. The prince falls in love with somebody else and gets married to her, to the other girl. And the Little Mermaid, she's chill with it. She learns to accept it. And she turns into sea foam, which she basically like ascends to being like a guardian angel or something. So at the end of the Beastly book, when like they're all talking, I forget how they like foreshadow what happened to her, but they're basically like, I wonder where she's at. She hasn't said anything in a while. And like they're like, I hope she got her prince. And it's just like, oh no. But book aside, the movie. So hold on. Let me get a bigger picture so you can see the majesty that is Beastly. Whoa, this image is huge! Hold on. Okay. So yeah, he's not like Beastly, he just turns alternative and gets a bunch of tattoos and scars and stuff, which is boring. But I do like, he has a tattoo on his arm that's like a rose bush, and that tattoo is enchanted, and it'll change along with his curse, because he has like a year for someone to break it, and it'll change with like the seasons, and as each month happens, like one of the roses will fall off the bush and stuff like that. So it's cute. I do like that. But yeah, so yeah, Vanessa Hudgens is our Belle, or in this case, her name is... Oh god. Oh no, what's her name? Oh no, what's her name? The Beast's name is Kyle Kingston, because it's like Kyle the King's son. It starts with an L, I think. Is it Lindy? Might be Lindy. Yeah, well, her name's Linda, but they call her Lindy. This one is, it's so bad, and I love it. So this was from the Twilight era. And like, Twilight, if you weren't around, or if you were too young, Twilight like exploded, and there are hundreds of copycats, like hundreds, like even just in books. Like, there was a series that I read most of called the Fallen series, and that was basically Twilight, but with demons and angels in juvie. It was a weird one. And then, like, there were things like this, where they would have pretty girls with monster-ish boyfriends. And yay. But it definitely oozes with, like, Twilight influence, and that is for sure. One thing about this movie that I always forget is that Neil Patrick Harris is in this movie. So basically, they're in high school. I don't know what freaking high school they're at because it looks like super futuristic, but they're in high school. And like he's super rich. She's a scholarship kid. She's supposed to be like down to earth and really chill and all that, and he's, you know, arrogant and all that. He ticks off the goth girl in their school, who is played by one of the Olsen twins. I believe it's Mary Kate. She's great in this movie. She's a great witch. We love her. But he like tricks her into going to this dance with her, and then he like quote unquote embarrasses her in front of everybody. I say quote unquote because it's honestly really lame. There's a lot of lame phrases in this movie. Like, they say, like, embrace the suck. Like, you suck kind of thing. And it's like, what? There's just a lot of weird slang in this movie that it's like, no one says that. No one says this. Stop trying to be cool, movie. But yeah, Neil Patrick Harris is in this movie. So when he gets, like, transformed into this, like, alternate boy look, he goes to his dad, and his dad's like, what the crap is wrong with you? And they take him to a doctor. And it's like, he's not sick or anything. He's just, like... And the doctor's like, yeah, we can't do anything. There's nothing to do. So, they hide him away. The dad is rich, and he, like, gets a townhouse for him to stay at, and Neil Patrick Harris plays a blind teacher, and he's blind so he doesn't have to see the ugly beast, and it's like, dude, come on. They also have like a housekeeper. I want to say her name is like Zara or something. She's African, and like she has a whole plot about how like she's trying to get green cards for her children. And she works for them, so she's like chill. Like, she doesn't care. No one cares how he looks except for him. This is a so bad it's good, watch it with the homies drink movie. It really is. I love this movie. Yeah, and like her dad is like a drug dealer. Because the way that, because you might be thinking, like, if they're normal high school students, how do they get the Beauty and the Beast thing where, like, the beauty has to stay with the beast? So in this one, he, like, there's a little bit of time where he's just, like, depressed and doing his own thing. Oh my god, there's this one part where it's so funny. It's like movies version of Facebook. On his Facebook, he, like, deletes everything. And the website is like, oh, why are you deleting your account? And he put, I am no more, enter. And it's like, oh, buddy. But, like, he runs into her at, like, a Halloween party, and then he starts, like, watching over her like Batman. It's odd. But, like, there's one night where her dad is in trouble because he's addicted to drugs. And basically, he ends up killing the drug dealer's brother. And the drug dealer is like, I'm gonna steal your daughter. I'll be back for her. And he leaves. And then freaking Kyle takes a picture of her dad and the dead guy and is like, I'm gonna show these to the police if you don't let me protect your daughter. And it's like, what the crap? So that's how that works out. And she's ticked because she's been saving up money to go on the school's Machu Picchu field trip. This field trip is so important. You don't understand. Machu Picchu. Side note about this movie, please watch it, it's horrible. His family has a scenic, secluded lake house that's big and fancy, and they only go to it once they're like a couple, or like really heavily flirty towards the end of the movie. And it's like, why weren't you just in this house? I guess he wouldn't have been able to watch over Vanessa Hudgens' character, but it's like, why not? The drug dealers don't know about the secluded lake house. Stay at the lake house. But it's like, whatever. Yeah, Machu Picchu. It's very important. So yeah, Beauty and the Beast adaptations will do this thing where the Beast wants to get closer to the Beauty, so he'll give her something. So like in the Disney Beauty and the Beast, he gave her a library, a gorgeous library at that. In this one, he builds her a greenhouse. And it's honestly really cute. I like the greenhouse. I can't help it. I was like, oh, I want to build a greenhouse. That's adorable. But, yeah, that's Beastly. I love Beastly. For all the wrong reasons, it's an S tier. Realistically, it's probably an oh no. But for me, it's all the right kinds of bad. Oh yeah, there's a Wii game. You don't play as Belle, or you don't play as Lindy or Kyle. You play as like an unnamed student, and you just do random mini games, and every now and again scenes from the movie will play. I don't know. But yeah, that's Beastly. It's so bad. It's so good. Ooh. Alright. This one right here is Beauty from 1998. I have a bone to pick with this one, which I will explain in a moment. So this one here, let me get. Please don't be a WebP file. Please don't be a WebP file. JPEG. Let me get you. I swear, if this image is also huge, I'm gonna lose my mind. Oh no, it's small. Yay. Blech. Alright, so this is Beauty from 1998. So, as you can tell, these are two humans, so this is again normal life, not fantasy, not a little fairy tale. Main girl is an artist. I believe she's also an art teacher. But yeah, the main girl is an artist, and her dad is also an artist. And normally, there's this rich family that would commission their family to do a portrait of the current like heir or the current like main person of the family, right? And like her dad did the previous painting. Well, he's getting up there, he's older, so he told them that that she would do it. And so she goes to his like big mansion, and it's like up in like a mountain, so it's like super snowy. So like honestly, like watching this movie, very cozy, very cozy. And the Beast here, so he is a beast because at some point in like his 20s, he developed like a skin condition or something that made his skin all over like textured like differently, like it looks really rough. It's kind of like, it kind of looks like his skin like just kept growing, and it looks like too big for him. Because it's kind of like his hands look like bigger than what they should be, and his head as well. Like it just kind of looks like his chin kept growing, it looked like his forehead kept growing, like, and it's like textured roughly. So like there's not a cure at the end. He stays this way, so he doesn't like learn to accept how he looks or anything. Well, no, he learns to kind of accept how he looks. Dyslexia. Fix that up. But yeah, it's not like he magically gets like a surgery at the end and he's hot or whatever. But yeah, and it's like they play with the idea of like when he was younger, he looked quote unquote normal. So like he had to deal with being a normal like Chad guy to having the skin condition. This dude has such bad anxiety that there are different points in this movie where these two, as they're bonding, they'll like go somewhere, and he has like a flashy like fun little sports car. He'll get so much like there's one part where they're going to get pizza, and they drive by the pizza parlor, and she gets out of the car. He stares at it for a sec, and he drives off. And she's like, what the crap? And then it cuts to a scene where they're back at his house with the pizza, and she's like, I thought you were leaving me there. So like his anxiety is so bad that like he does not let other people see him. There's actually a good chunk of this movie where he doesn't let her see him for a while, and she's like, I can't paint you if I don't know what you look like. But yeah, he leaves her like 3 or 4 times throughout this movie at like different parts, and she's just like, okay. Like there's one part where they have to go to a hospital, and like she goes in and she looks behind him, and he's like zooming off, and it's like, dang it, man. They do bond like fairly naturally through like her painting him and like just like getting to know each other, and like her visiting like his manor and all that. She does have like a boyfriend, but he feels like so pointless, because even when they're together, that you don't even like believe that like, oh yeah, that's a couple. You're like, oh, you're just a means to an end. Like it's not believable. They are not even into each other. I don't even know why they put him in there, because like there's this one part where he's like yelling at her like, you're falling in love with this author dude that you're painting for. He's a famous author, also like an author that she likes, small world. And she like takes a drawing from her sketchbook of him, and she shoves it in her boyfriend's hands, and she's like, this is who you're jealous of. And I thought that was gonna like come back later to like bite her in the butt. It doesn't. I'm like, okay. What was that for? Also, like, he has like a maid who's just like been with him since he was a kid, and she's weird because I guess like a woman got close to him before and hurt him, so she assumes that this painter lady is the same way, and she like sets it up that like she's gonna be a gold digger, and I'm like, girl, back up. Leave them alone. And then also, they hype up the painting that she paints of him, and you do see it at the end, and honestly, it looks bad. It doesn't look good. Like, they show, like, the paintings that, like, previous people of the family have gotten, and they're, like, hyper-realistic, like, super clean and all that. And then you look at hers and it just looks unfinished. I don't know if I can find a picture. Wait, is that it? Oh, it is, but it's like, God, it's so small. Like, they were hyping up this painting, and then I saw it, and like, I audibly in the darkness of my bed, I was just like, oh, that's what that looks like, huh? That's it? Like, it's funny, because like at the end, he stares at it, and he was like, if I had known this is what you had seen, like, if this is how you saw me, I would have believed that you loved me sooner. And then you see it, and you're like, oh. It's bad. Bad. Oh wait. It's bad. It's like, this is him, like bottom right, that's him. I think what makes me mad is that like they had her do like sketches of him, and there were like charcoal sketches of him that she did that honestly look good. And then this is the painting, and I'm like, it no good. Doing that like bad painting, bad. Cause like she put it in an art show. Cause she did like paintings of her dad. Because segue to why I have a bone to pick with this movie. POV, you're me. You don't feel great. You cozy into your bed. It's like midnight. You decide to watch a Beauty and the Beast movie because tier list. You find this one. It's really cozy. The snow makes it all cozy. It has some silly moments, but you're having a generally good time. And then you get hit with her dad has cancer. And there's a part of the movie where it gets to the point where they're basically like, he either needs to do chemo or he's going to die. And he's like, I'm old, I don't want to do chemo. So he's basically like hospice level. He's just living at home until he dies, right? I have lived this. It's not fun. And there's a moment that like sucked me right back into when I was in this, when those were my shoes that I was in. And I was just like, oh my God, I just started bawling. I'm just like, man, no. Cause like there's this part where she's trying to get him to eat and like eat healthy, because it's like for your health, like he's dying, but it's not like he's gonna die right at that minute. It's going to be over the course of probably like a week. And she's trying to get him to eat, and he like lashes out at her, because he just wants to eat like the pie dessert, and he's like, I'm not a kid, just give me the pie. And like the emotions that she felt in like that whole scenario, I was just like, oh my God, no. So I'm just laying in my bed in the darkness, in like covers up to my chin, just like, God dang it. I'm like, I didn't expect this from a Beauty and the I'm just trying to chill. And I think when I watched this, like I had either been sick or I like hadn't felt well. So it was just like all of this stuff. I'm just like, God dang it. So yeah, that's why I have a bone to pick with this movie. Otherwise, there is a cute moment where she like has to go to like this gala thing for her boyfriend that sucks. Because he's a photographer, because, yeah. And a Beast Man buys her a dress. And that's cute. They like go through, they go dress shopping together through like magazines, and I'm like, aw, that's cute. So yeah, this is kind of an unconventional Beauty and the Beast, but like generally as a movie, like I liked it. Like it told the story. It had a lot of the like Beauty and the Beast elements of like whimsical big house that you stay in and stuff like that. So like honestly, like it's a lovely adaptation. Sorry to get sad, but yeah, it was just a punch of just like this is targeted for you. I'm like, oh god, why? Okay, this one technically has two names. It's Beauty and the Beast or Blood of Beasts. It's from 2005. So this one's the Viking one. This is Viking aesthetics. I believe Beauty in this one is named Freya. Adds to it. When I was younger and I was looking for Beauty and the Beast adaptations, I tried to watch this one like 2 or 3 times, and I don't know if I didn't understand it or if like the versions I found were like messed up. But it felt like every time I tried to watch it, I was only able to watch half of it. Like it would just stop. I don't know. But I remember like not caring for it, even like what I did see of it. The beast design is whatever, because it's just a dude like wearing a bear. Like he's all like bloody and stuff, but it's like eh. And then like the only other thing I remember is like by the end, like the actual ending, is that like by the end of it, the beauty dies, Freya dies, and like his curse gets broken somehow, and he gives her a Viking funeral. I just genuinely didn't feel like watching this one again because it was just such a hassle for younger me. So because of that, it's an oh no. An oh no for me. I'm sorry, I don't have more to say. If the Viking one is your like ride or die, I'm sorry, but it's not my ride or die. Just frustrated me. Speaking of frustrating me, this this Beauty and the Beast is from 2009. I think it premiered, or at least showed, on the Sci-Fi Channel. I don't know if it was made for Sci-Fi, but I like calling it the Sci-Fi Beauty and the Beast just because it's simple. This one is like frustratingly bad to me. And I like sci-fi movies. If you don't know about the Sci-Fi Channel, the Sci-Fi Channel has a lot of odd things. I believe the Sci-Fi Channel was the birthplace of the Sharknado movies, if that gives you an idea. They have a lot of silly movies on there, but they also have like some good stuff. Honestly, like one of my favorite TV shows, Face Off, it was like a makeup show that was on Sci-Fi. They had a Alice in Wonderland mini series that was just called Alice that I really liked. I have it on DVD actually. I liked it a lot. Tim Curry was in that one. Yeah, like they do miniseries all the time. They did like a Wizard of Oz one that was called Tin Man. That one was okay. I didn't like it as much as Alice. And then there's this one. I wanted to like this one. It's sci-fi. I wanted to like it. But it's so frustratingly bad. They do a lot of changes, and none of the changes are really good, besides they make Belle basically a perfumer from Elden Ring. She likes mixing different like plants and stuff together to make she makes soaps for her mom, because her mom is basically like ye old laundromat, but she also just likes making bombs and smoke bombs and stuff like that. Like she'll just make whatever. The locations in this are also like really boring. Now, like, okay, let me explain something really quick. The Alice series I talked about that I liked, that was a mini series, so that one is like twice as long, and I think because of that, it also had like a bigger budget. So like that had like a bunch of different locations. This one was just a movie. It was like an hour and a half probably, and the locations were just so boring. There were literally like 3 locations. There was the CGI castle, which we barely saw. the woods, and then the village that Belle was from. That's it. And it's just, you see the same, like, woods over and over again, and it's like, oh my god. And it's not like an interesting, whimsical woods. It's just the woods. Also, Belle's outfit ticks me off to no end. The Beast design is okay, though. He's kind of like troll-y. But her outfit, is there not going to be like a freaking picture of this stupid outfit? Her outfit is essentially, I like the colors of it, because she's got like a darker pink corset thing, like a leather corset. But underneath it, she's wearing like, it looks like a dusty pink, light pink t-shirt dress that like goes like halfway down her thigh. And then she has brown boots. And because of the cut of the t-shirt dress, it looks like she just forgot pants. And she looks so stupid. Everybody else looks fine, but for some reason, she's out here, no pants, looking stupid. I hate it. Like, I love the colors of her outfit. The colors are fine. But her stupid t-shirt dress and corset combo make me mad. The Beast in this one, he wasn't cursed because he did anything wrong. He was just cursed because he was born to a king, and then this evil enchantress lady cursed him to look like a troll man and connected his curse to the life of her pet troll, which is a separate creature that looks different from the Beast. I don't know. It's weird. So he like got ostracized from the moment he was born because this enchantress woman just cursed him. And like there's a part in the movie where like Belle tries to like meta the curse, because he tells her that he was cursed, or that, because I think there's like one dude that like worked in the castle that's his friend, and he may have told her that, someone tells her that he's cursed. So she tries to kiss him while he's imprisoned at some point, because it's not important, he gets imprisoned at some point. So she kisses him through the bars. Nothing happens. And she was like, and he's even like, you kissed me. And she's like, yeah, I don't know, I thought it would do something. And they try to be cute about it. They're like, well, I guess it's just not that easy. It's like, okay, look. It isn't... It's like, they're trying to like be better than like the original tale, and it's like, shut up. Shut up. Also, the enchantress woman is weirdly incestuous, because the evil antagonist, because just having an evil enchantress is not enough. There's like this count. I think his name is Count Rudolph. He's a count. She wants to marry him, and I think she just wants him to become king and marry him so she can have like power, like royal power, not like magic power. She already has that. But she calls him cousin, like all the time. So I took that literally. I'm assuming they're actually cousins, and I'm just like, and she seems to like genuinely like have a romantic interest in him. So I'm just like, that's not okay. That's your cousin. Stop that. But I don't know. Like this version, I feel like they could have just done like so much more interesting things with it, because it's like, I don't know, sci-fi stuff. Like they do like such interesting like dystopian things. I don't know. I feel like they could have done something more, or like maybe like follow the tale a little bit more, because again, like the changes, like the only change that I really like is that Belle's a perfumer for some reason and like makes bombs, but like other than that, it's whatever. Oh yeah, they break the curse by killing the troll. If you didn't figure that out, they kill the troll, curse gone. He's hot now. That's it. But oh my god, it's so I don't know, I feel like you could just make so many better pitches. Like this one just upsets me. So like realistically, like for a movie, like it's probably like oh no or fine, but for me it makes me mad, so it's F, it's low, it's be gone for me. I don't like it. Stupid movie. Oh, but now we get to one that I like. This one is a musical movie from 1987. It's just called Beauty and the Beast. It doesn't have like a fancy name or anything. This one is like very cute. It's very like kid friendly. It's a musical and it has like original songs. So it's very cute. It has a very like storybook aesthetic. Everything is very like glittery and very whimsical. It's very fun, very wholesome. I also really like the costuming in this movie. Like they do kind of feel costume-y, but like in like a charming way. I really like it. And like there's a song that like there's two songs that I remember the most. There's one at the very beginning where Belle's siblings sing about how like they wouldn't know what to do without her because she does all the work for them. And she's just like, oh, you. But then there's a song where she's like in the castle and both her and the Beast are singing at the same time, but they're in different places and they're dancing. But the Beast is dancing alone and Belle is dancing with these statues that came to life. And I love the statue song. It's great. I think it's called Waltz with the Moon or something. I don't know. It's a fun song. Very cute. I love this movie. Because her family is worthless without her, she has to spend time in the movie being like, I have free time. I don't know what to do since like no one like needs me to like do chores for them. Oh, I haven't brought this up much. Okay, so there's a thing that Beauty and the Beast adaptations will do where they'll have what I like to call the dream prince. Where basically when Beauty goes to sleep, she dreams of the prince form of the Beast, but she doesn't know that they're the same person. Sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't, because sometimes she falls in love with the dream prince. And the dream prince can't say that he's the Beast, so he just gets edgy about it, and it's like, what the heck? But I think it works in this one. She's interested in him, but she doesn't seem to like love him or anything. But he gets like pouty with her because like as a Beast, he'll be like, will you marry me? And she'll be like, no. And then in her dream, she'll be like, hey man. And she doesn't know the same person. And he'll be like, you're very mean to me. And she'll be like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. He also like asks her to marry him a lot from what I remember. I don't know. This one's really cute to me. I have a soft spot for it. It's at least amazing. I don't want to flood the S tier, even though this is here for the wrong reasons, but I'll keep it in amazing. Oh no. Are you guys ready for the next one? I don't think you're ready for the next one. There's a lot to say about this one. You're not ready for any of them? Well, you're extra not ready for this one. This one is insane. I'm just going to tell you the title, and I want your reaction. So this one with the two lovely people down here is called Beauty and the Beast, a Christian romance. It's from 2007. Hold on, I want you guys up here for this. I believe they're Latter-day Saints. They don't explicitly say, but I think when I was like Googling this one, like it doesn't say it on like the box, but I saw one thing where it said something about Latter-day Saints. So this one, I found this one around the same time I found the Burbank one, so I've known about this one for many a moon. And when I found this as a kid, I kind of couldn't believe it. And as a kid, I remember being pleasantly surprised with it and thinking it was cute for what it was, and that, like, to my memory, it wasn't like in your face about the Christianity from what I remember. Like, Belle just happened to be Christian. That was how I remembered it. Now, originally, I wasn't going to rewatch this one, but then I decided to. And, it's worse than I remember. It's not good. So it is definitely a low budget movie. I don't know the budget for this movie, but you can tell it's low. The camera isn't great. There's times where it kind of looks like there's Vaseline on the screen and the focus is kind of weird. The audio mixing is weird. I swear there are times where it sounds like they add in footstep noises and it kind of drives me insane. And, like, there is acting. Acting is happening. It's not necessarily amazing, but it's happening. Like, Belle is probably the best actor in the movie, and it's whatever. It's not great, but, like, it's fine for what it is, I guess. So, like, to set the stage, Belle in this universe is an orthodontist assistant, which is unique. Don't really see that in movies that often. And she's also going to school so she can get her master's degree, I believe, because she wants to, like, be in charge of, like, an orthodontist practice kind of thing. And then the Beast in this case, he's just, like, a mean guy. He's like a business dude. Basically, like, companies reach out to him for help of, like, how do we run our business better, and he gives them feedback, and he's rich because of it. His house is insane, by the way. He has a room where there's a goddamn jacuzzi, and it's insane. It's huge, and it's like, his house has like 3 floors. It's just, this house is crazy. And if you're wondering, like, how does like the Beauty and the Beast aspect come in of, like, well, how does she, like, stay at his house? I forget the Beast's name. I think his name is Mr. Landry. I don't remember his first name, but he hires Belle's dad to, like, fix his fireplace, and he knocks over a vase a la Oron High School Host Club. And this is, like, an ugly vase. It's like a boring, like, gray vase. Like, imagine the most plain vase you can, like, stock vase. There you go, that's it. He breaks it. Beast Man comes in and is like, that vase is worth 10 people! If it's by your standards, it's worth 20! And it's like, this is ugly, what the heck? So then Belle learns about it because he threatens to, like, call his job and get him fired. And then Belle goes over and is like, hey man, I'll work for you, because he just fired his assistant because he's mean. And she's like, I'll be your assistant to pay back for the vase. And he actually takes her up on that offer. And they bond through that. There's a weird part where he gets sick for, like, a day, and he's, like, uber nice to her while he's sick. And it's weird. And then after that, he's kind of mean again, but then he chills out. And it's weird. I don't know. Oh, also there's a rival love interest named Craig, and he scares me. He genuinely horrified. His eyes are always bugging out of his head. Oh my god, he's weirdly obsessive. He'll, like, wait outside Belle's house. He goes to the Beast's mansion because he can't find Belle, and her name is actually Belle in this one, by the way. And it's just like, dude, she's not that into you. Leave her alone. And, like, he impersonates the Beast to get Belle's dad fired. And that's how, like, the conflict happens towards the end. And it's like, Belle's family is struggling. Like, Belle has 3 other siblings. One of them you never see because he's off at college, and the other 2 are children. So Belle and her dad are the only ones bringing in any money. Like, they are struggling. And it's just like, dude, what is wrong with you? I don't know. As for like the Christian stuff, like, there's a part where I think it's when he's in his stupid jacuzzi. He tells her that, like, she can read. Like, she could just pick a book because he has, like, a big bookcase. She makes a beeline for the Bible. She pulls it out. She's just reading it. He gets mad at her. He's like, where'd you get that? And she's like, oh, it's in your library. I hope you don't mind. It's a really nice copy. And he gets mad at her for reading it and throws it in his jacuzzi. And she's like, isn't that, like, sacrilegious? Why'd you do that? Turns out he has religion trauma because his wife died in a car accident and he blamed God. So he became an alcoholic for a bit and then stopped. Or maybe he drunk drove and that's what killed her. Alcohol was involved at some point, and then he stopped drinking. And he gave up religion because of that. So then, like, Belle will just randomly bring up religion. It's not too bad, but also, like, I was raised Lutheran. I don't care as much, but it didn't seem that bad to me. But, like, the part where, like, there's the whole misunderstanding because Craig is a psychopath. He starts drinking again. Or no, he almost starts drinking again. He breaks open this case that he had a bottle of alcohol in that on the back it said never again in Sharpie. And Belle, like, finds it when she realizes what Craig did and she's like, oh my god. And she goes, like, to find him and he's, like, sitting in the snow by a lake, but he hasn't drank it. He decided to give it up and they make up. And isn't that nice? But, like, at the end, the stupid narrator, like, ham-fists that, like, because of God, they were able to, like, fall in love and everything's better. And I'm like, I guess, but dang, you're really belittling the two of them, like, interacting. Like, what the heck? Also, there's, like, 2 songs in this movie. There's really, like, no background music at all. But there's 2, like, actual songs, and word for word, I'm going to tell you the notes that I took. At first, I thought there was only 1 song, and I typed in all caps. There's, like, 1 song in this movie, and I don't like it. Because it was bad. And then later, a second worse song started during the sad montage, and I said, a second song hit the movie, and I hate it too. So I remember this one being a little bit more charming, but now that I've watched it as an adult, that's a no-no from me, General. Like, I don't even know if it's, like, if it's good enough to be so bad it's good. Like, I don't think it's funny enough necessarily for that. Maybe with, like, the right people. But, like, there are ones on this, like, Beastly is definitely better for that, and there's other ones on here that are definitely much more, like, so bad it's good. This one's just kind of bad, and also God's there. And the acting's bad, and the music is bad, and the audio mixing is bad, and the footsteps made me feel uncomfortable. I don't know. Anyway, that was the Christian one. Did you like it? That was the Christian romance. Yay. Is anything gonna land on Never Seen? You shall see. I don't want to put any spoilers. The suspense, yeah, I know. But the next one. Okay, so this spooky little face down there, that is Britannica's Tales from Around the World. Yeah, this is from 1990. So I think this was originally packaged with, like, 2 other tales, because this one's only 10 minutes long. I find it very beautiful. I hate using this terminology because this person isn't like the best person, but it's got a very like Tim Burton-esque style. The whole movie is like very blue, and like if there's any fire in the movie, it's like electric blue. It's very pretty. Sorry that it's blurry, but this is a lot of what like the movie looks like. It's got a lot of swirls, it's got a lot of funky shapes in it. As you can see, like the Beast, he's kind of gangly, but he's like a big bat dude with like intense shoulders, so like I honestly really like his design. I like how like literally dark he is and how they play with shadows to like show like texture on him and stuff, and like how textured his face is. I just think it's really cool. He also has like a really cool voice. It's very like deep and gravelly. Also in this one there is a rose. It's not valuable to the Beast. It's not special. It's literally just like, that's my rose. How dare you? Okay, I guess I should say they do mention at one point Bella's seen something. Yeah, she's always got that look in her eye of like, oh god, the horrors of the world. But like with the rose, they mention at one point that like they use it as kind of like a metaphor. You know, like a rose looks beautiful, but actually it's very painful because of the thorns and all that. So I guess at most the rose here is supposed to be like a metaphor. The soundtrack to this one is really neat because it has like wood chime noises, like wooden wind chime. Sorry, I mixed the two words. Wooden wind chime looking noises. No, Sarah. Okay, in this cartoon, the soundtrack has wind chimes that sound like they're made of wood that just play a lot, and it sounds neat. Finally, I spit it out. But yeah, it's cool. Also, despite like the really short runtime on this one, they do tackle with the idea of like the Beast used to be human, but he's slowly become more animalistic. Because like there's one point where they're just like chilling outside, and like a deer runs by, and he starts like growling at it and gets in like a pouncing kind of pose, and Beauty's just like, Beast, what's come over you? And he like fixes himself and stands up straight again, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, I'm Beast and all that. But yeah, like for being as short as it is, I do really like it for like the style. I will say the style and the voice acting is really carrying it for me. It is very quick, so for me it's probably a B. A just feels too high just because of how quick it is, but it is very unique. I do like it a lot. This one here is Shelley Duvall's Fairy Tale Theater Beauty and the Beast. So in the 80s, Shelley Duvall had a TV show where each episode was a fairy tale, and she would host it, and at the beginning of every episode she'd say, "Hi, I'm Shelley Duvall," and she'd be like busy doing something. Just something random. Like I think in the Beauty and the Beast one, she's like putting a horse in a stable or something. Sometimes she acts in them, but some of them she's just a host. Like in this one, I don't think she acts in it. She's just the host for this one. But her show is really interesting because they'll have like very popular actors in it. Like Christopher Lee was in one of them, Eric Idle, Jeff Goldblum, Carrie Fisher. Like they were all in different episodes. And honestly, like if the rest of the show is anything like this episode, I think the show is worth watching if you like fairy tale stuff. It's very cute, and of course, like, you know, I love Shelley Duvall. She's great. And like they put a lot of effort into it. There are ones that are apparently like the cream of the crop ones, but I don't know the tier list of like Shelley Duvall episodes, so sorry. The problem with this one though is that it's basically the 1946 Jean Cocteau one that we talked about at the very beginning, the black and white French one from the 40s. It's basically that, but a 20-minute episode, and in color. Like, even the beast design is, like, the same design. It's wild. It's so similar to the Jean Cocteau one that it's kind of hard to, like, tier list this one. Because it's, like, on its own. Like, it's a great little episode. It does the story. It has style. It has flair. It's kind of haunting. It's cool. It's just kind of derivative. Which, like, I don't mind because it's more content for me. Since it's kind of derivative, like if it was its own thing, I'd probably give it an A, but because it's kind of derivative, I think I'm gonna give it like a B. We might move it. I don't know. It's so oddly like the same thing. It's good. Like, it really is good, but it's strange to tier. Alright, next up. Next up, y'all. We got Die Schon und das Beast, or Beauty and the Beast. It's the German one. It's from 2012. This one is also pretty cute. The Beast design is good. He kind of looks like... He kind of reminds me, honestly, of the Disney one, except, like, he doesn't have, like, the big hulking proportions. He just has, like, human proportions. But, like, he's pretty cool. He has 2 human-ish servants that were also enchanted. They were enchanted based off of, like, their personalities. So, like, one of them was always, like, eavesdropping, right? So his ears got, like, really big and, like, messed up. And then, the girl servant, her nose got turned into kind of like a piggy nose. I forget, I guess maybe she was always sticking her nose in other people's business, or maybe it was something with food, I don't remember. But both of them are cute. They kind of stumble over each other, they're fun together. I watched this one on YouTube, and the subtitles weren't great, but they did enough that I could tell what was going on. Despite that, I still enjoyed it. There's a lot of fun and whimsy in it. There's also a sword fight at the end. Okay, so yeah. Normally, with like Beauty and the Beast stuff, once the Beast turns into a prince, it's like, there might be one scene later where they're like, and they lived happily ever after, and then it's over. But in this one, you actually get a few scenes with like the Beast as a dude. He sword fights the villain, they like go into the village, and he thanks Belle's dad for like existing, and like indirectly bringing them together. And the rose is actually important in this one. The rose affects their curse. So basically they have this big rose bush, and once they're all dead, I forget if they're either cursed forever or if they die. They might die. I don't remember. They're either cursed forever or they die. I forget how much it changes it, if it's like a whole year or like a month, I don't know, but less roses equals less time. So rose is actually important, we love that. Another thing that I think that's cute about this one is that once Belle is kind of like there, the castle's all messed up, and like the first time they tried to eat together, he was just eating like meat that was freshly taken off of an animal, and they gave some to her, and it's like, oh. So like after that happened, they like clean up the castle and they try to like find like a meal that she would want to eat, and like he eats it with her, and it's cute, and they like learn together, and it's sweet. And I liked that at the end, like the Beast like thanked her dad, because I feel like a lot of the times like they don't interact again. It's like he scares him and then they just never speak again. This one gets an A. It's very cute. I think I like the musical one a lot. All right. This is the bane of my existence. I don't know what this is. This is the only one out of all of these that I do not know what this is. I was able to find all the other ones, or I'd already seen them. I don't know what this is. I looked up Beauty and the Beast adaptations. I can't find anything with a dragon. I can't find this poster. I don't know what this is. So, unfortunately, this will be the one thing and haven't seen. I don't know what this is. If I make this into a YouTube video and somebody knows what this is, please tell me. Because now I kind of just want to watch it. Like, I've literally seen all these other ones, but not this one. I tried so hard. I went on like Wikipedia and looked up like through different like Beauty and the Beast adaptation things. I looked on IMDb where I found like more versions, but I never found the one with the dragon in it. And it will haunt me. Oh my god, okay, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh my god, we have such a good lineup after this. Oh my god. Okay, okay. Okay, this one. This one. I feel like this is one where when people look it up, or like if somebody like watches this and then they're like, oh, I'll look this one up. It's like, really? But hear me out, hear me out. So this is a Beauty and the Beast TV film from 1976. I adore this one. This features... Let me try that again. This features George C. Scott as the Beast and his actual wife as Belle. So cute. So they actually have chemistry because they're married. So extra cute. The costuming in this one is so good, and the locations, they are at like an actual castle, and there's like a hedge maze and all these like beautiful trees. Like, it looks so cool. Belle and the Beast have a lot of bonding moments together. They like learn from each other, like they do like lessons together, and like they kind of like challenge each other. They play games together, and like they're a lot more believable because like they'll like learn from one another. Because it's something where it's like he's very, very well read, so he'll like teach her like all these old stories, and then like she teaches him like different games to play, and like teaches him how to dance and stuff, and it's cute. It's so freaking cute. Actually, they're even so fleshed out. Like, they do the thing where like every night at dinner, the Beast asks Belle to marry him, and she's like, I don't love you, so I can't marry you, I'm sorry. There's one night where she almost says yes. Like, it's after the fact. She had gone to her room, and she like thinks about it for a minute, and she was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go say yes to him. But then when she finds him, he's like eating an animal because he's a beast, so he eats like a beast, c'est la vie. And it like freaks her out, and like she decides not to say yes. Conflict. I will say this one, some people might think it's a little cheesy, but I think it's very sweet. It's also kind of hard to find because it's older. Apparently there's a DVD of it, but it's not like a DVD that you can like look up on Amazon or something. Like, you have to go on like rare DVD websites or something to buy it. And one day, I'd like to have a copy because I really like this version. There are uploads on YouTube. If you do decide to watch this version, both of the versions that I found on YouTube have this thing where the first 10 minutes, the lips don't sync up with the audio. It's not horrendously off, but it's off enough that you will notice it. But after like 10 minutes, it's perfect, and it doesn't happen like that again. And like the first 10 minutes is like with Belle's dad, so it's like, who cares? You still get like the story, all the audio is still there. It's just not synced right at first. Also, the Beast design is pretty good. He's mostly a boar. He also dresses very nicely. The one thing I don't like about him is they gave him like actual hooves, which is a cool idea, but they look so fake. They look so squishy too. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the hooves, but I like the idea. Let's see. What else? Oh, I feel like if you're not me and like Beauty and the Beast adaptations aren't like a thing that you're just like, I must consume content. I feel like people might not like this one because it is kind of cheesy, and because like since it's from the 70s, like it's not super colorful, it's not bursting with like it can be very like gray at times. Like the castle, like during the day when they're like playing and like the hedgemates and stuff, it's pretty colorful, but especially when it's like at Belle's house, it's pretty bleak. And like it can be kind of dark and hard to see, but I like older stuff, so I don't mind. And this one is my favorite live action version. I really like this one. It might be my favorite version. I don't know. I really like it. Not everyone will like it. But for me, oh my god, I adore this version. I adore it so much. Oh my gosh, now we're at this one. See, we're just getting a bunch that I love now. Okay, this one, okay, earlier I called, where are you? I called the freaking colon 3-face one, the Italian one. Or quote-unquote the Italian one. This is the actual Italian one. So this is a mini-series from 2014. You can watch it subbed, or you can, there is a dub of it, and the dub, it works pretty well. You're not too taken aback, because I think the first time I watched it, I didn't realize it was originally Italian and it got dubbed over. Like that's how good the lip syncing was for me. I was immersed. Because it's a mini series, it is like 3 hours long, and there's 2 parts to it. Each are like an hour and a half. So you do get a lot of time with like all the characters and the world that you're in, and it's very pretty. The like manor and grounds that the dude has is very picturesque. Again, like the costumes are great, like everything's so pretty in this one. It also generally follows the Beauty and the Beast plot, except you'll notice that's just a normal man with like a Phantom of the Opera mask. So like he's mostly beastly in like attitude, but he also has like a burn from trauma that happens, and you learn about it in the story. So he covers it with a Phantom of the Opera mask. We love that. So yeah, it kind of sucks that there's not like a whimsical beast, but I do like that he's just kind of like a rich dude that oversees like a whole like town. A unique thing about this one, there's like a perfume subplot where like the Beast's uncle is like into like perfuming and flowers and stuff, and Belle learns about it, and like they bond. And honestly, like her friendship with like his, I think it's his uncle, but with the mentor character is also really cute. Like you feel like she has other friends. She's not just stuck with the Beast. But like they also bond. They have a pretty like ballroom dance, and it's so fun. There's also a lot of like nice melodrama in this one, so if you like melodrama, here it is. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's also like a lot of characters. Like a lot. But they're cool. I like them. And like there's a lot of angst in it, but it does feel earned. I do recommend watching it. I do like this one very much. I'm very partial to miniseries just because like you get so much time with them. Honestly, it's an S tier, but you do just get like a lot of time with them, so you do feel like you like learn who they are, and again, it's very pretty. And like I think, if I remember correctly, I think Belle's dad, like, worked for him or something, or like, he was a merchant for him, and like, the cargo that he lost was his, and that's why Belle, like, feels the need to work for him. It's not like he stole a rose or something, it's nothing like that. I don't believe. It's been a while since I've seen it, so I don't remember exactly. But yeah, I love this one. It's good. What's next? This one. Okay, this one is the Czech one from 1979. This one is incredibly unique and haunting. The beast is like a bird, which is very unique. I don't think there's another one that's a bird. There should be more bird ones. Because like, I feel like people don't pick birds because like birds are brittle creatures. But like, he's like this like cool falcon thing. Very neat. It's interesting because like his hands are still human. And like this one's so like haunting because like there's, unlike other ones, the beast fully intends to kill Belle when she shows up, but she's too hot, so he can't. And he, like, for a lot of the movie, he refuses to show himself to her, and he will only like show his hands or touch her with his human hands. So it's like, as far as she knows, he's human. But they get to know each other and they fall in love. So cute. And like, I don't remember exactly, but the beast is actually the reason that Beauty, who's named Julie in this version, the beast is the reason that her dad loses his fortune. I don't remember how, but he causes it some way. So it's nice that they're like kind of connected in that way. It's kind of like fated, I guess. But yeah, like this is another one I haven't seen in a while, but I remember like it's got the sauce. It's so pretty, it's so haunting. It's so unique. I love it so much. It's another S. I don't know how high I'd put it. Guess I'll put it there. Another god tier fave. Let's go. Okay. Okay, so this is another one we have to talk about two at once. Okay, so there's these two down here. If you are not aware, there are two television shows about Beauty and the Beast. The one that I moved up is from '87, and then the one next to it is from 2012. They are very loosely connected, but they are connected enough that I feel the need to talk about them at the same time. Let me get bigger pictures so you can understand, because it's like, I feel like if I showed you the two pictures, you'd be like, why are they connected? Okay, this is probably not going to be the highest of quality, but it will hopefully work for the purposes that I need. Alright, okay, sorry it's blurry. So, you may look at these and you may be like, besides the fact that they're called Beauty and the Beast, how are these connected? They look nothing alike. Besides there's a guy and a girl. One of them's a goddamn lion. So, the '80s show was actually like pretty popular. It was pretty well received. Oh yeah, yeah, he's got they both have like jaw lines. The 2012 one is loosely based off of it in that they're both named Beauty and the Beast, and they're both loosely like crime shows with romance elements. But other than that, I'm like, and I think they both take place in New York. They're very different. When the 2012 one came out, I watched at least the first season, if not two. I believe there's 3 seasons of '87. There's 4 or 5 of the 2012 one. I mean, I enjoyed the first season of it when I was a kid. So for this tier list, I decided to watch at least 3 episodes of each, which is definitely not fair, but this is gonna mostly be like a vibe check for them. I'd always mean to watch the '80s one. I just never got around to it. But yeah, I wanted to watch at least 3 episodes of each and like just rate them based off of that, which isn't really fair, I recognize, but that's what we're doing. Generally speaking, I prefer the 80s one. Again, I prefer older things, so there's that. But also, like, the 80s one just kind of has, like, more whimsy to it. It's kind of more, like, fantastical. I like the Beast design better, because he's kind of, you know, beastish. Also, that, the 80s one, the Beast is played by Ron Perlman, Hellboy himself. Zabalba from the Book of Life. That's gonna be a really specific reference. But at least from what I've seen of the 80s one, it seems very Monster of the Week-ish. There's not like literal monsters of the week, but it's kind of like, because like in this one, the girl Catherine, oh yeah, also the other thing that connects these two is that the characters have the same names. So it's Catherine and Vincent, and then in the 2012 one, it's also Catherine and Vincent. But in the 80s one, Catherine works in the district attorney's office, and Vincent's in like this underground labyrinth of tunnels underneath New York where like a bunch of like rejects live, and he is basically kind of like a vigilante that helps people, and together they work together to help people and help each other. And so far it seems like each episode is like she's given a case and he helps her in some way with it. Another thing, and this is spoilers for this show, so if you don't want spoilers for this 20-year-old this 40-year-old show, sorry, I can count. Close your ears, but there are 3 seasons of this show. From what I've read, the first season is very like Monster of the Week-y, like I said. The second one starts to explore like character dynamics more. And then the third one, the actress that played Catherine got pregnant. So she quit the show. So they killed off her character, made Vincent go a little insane, and brought in another girl that like helps raise his baby that Catherine had, and like helps him like figure out who murdered Catherine and all this, because in the show like they murdered her. But like I guess the show didn't do so well after that, so it got canceled after that season. So I don't know how that's gonna fare, but I do intend to watch more of the 80s one, so eventually I'll be able to let you know. I have watched a few more episodes since watching the original 3, so there's that. The 2012 one is much more like just crime show. Like if you take away the Beast elements, it's just a normal crime show. And even with the Beast element, because as you can see, he's not like a beast. So this one is very much more like story driven. There's a very clear story throughout, and like Catherine having cases is just kind of built around that. Because like in this one, Vincent, he's not like a Catman vigilante. He was a super soldier that when he went into the military, they made super soldiers to fight. Also, yeah, 9/11 is mentioned in this one, which was like interesting. And like they tested on them, and they basically get like super strength, and they get like fast, and like all these like little powers and stuff. Like nothing like magical, but just, you know, like kind of like Hulk-ish. He's more like Hulky rather than like Beauty and the Beast-y. But they do have like a relationship in it. But it is just kind of like, I don't know, like it's better than I remember, but it is still mostly just like crime show with Hulk Beast aspects to it. So as far as I've seen, and again, I did see the whole season, the whole like first season when it came out, but my memory is bad, so I don't fully really remember that. So based off of what little I've seen, I would give this probably an A, maybe a B, but I like whimsy, so A. This is probably a B at most. Oh, now I get to be mad again. Let me get situated for being upset. Can anyone tell what the next one is? Can you tell from the itty bitty picture? So this next one is Disney's live action Beauty and the Beast from 2017. It makes me mad. So, okay. Let's have a chat, you and I. So, back in my day when I was younger, there was a thing that would go around, and to an extent people still kind of do this, but since they're actually making these now, I don't see them as often. But when I was younger, people liked making like fan castings if Disney did ever make a live action one. Just because, like, oh, I'd love to see this actor be this person and stuff like that. And they did that with like everybody in like every movie. Like I remember there was like a big like grid of them where it's like this one would be Hercules and this one would be Alice and blah 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 blah. Because, well, maybe not Alice, because I think at this point when I would see those a lot, the only live action the only live action Disney stuff that was out was Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland and like Maleficent. Which, like, those are very different from like the Disney animated counterparts, so they kind of feel like more unique. But now like Disney's just making like one for one quote-unquote live-action remakes, and it's like, that's lazy. But moving on, even back before like this movie was out, it was a popular fan casting to make Emma Watson Belle. And as a contrarian, may I just say, I never wanted her to be Belle. And then they cast her as it, and I'm like, man. So, like, I don't hate Emma Watson. It's not like I hate her or anything. She's a lovely lady. I just don't see her as Belle. Like, I feel like people see brown hair, and she played a smart character, so therefore she's Belle. And it's like, no. It's like, first off, Belle's not necessarily like a smart character. She's like a whimsical character. She likes reading like fantasy stuff. She's not like reading textbooks. But I don't know, it's just I never saw her as Belle. Like, yeah, she's white and has brown hair, but is that all it takes? By that logic, I'm Belle. Like, be serious here. All right, now we have a big now we have a big image to look at. Even without Emma Watson, like, disregarding her, and again, she's fine, I just don't see her as Belle. But it's like, I don't like live-action Disney movies. Literally the only one I have liked is Maleficent, and Maleficent is just so different from Sleeping Beauty that it's like, you get a whole different experience. But it's like, you watch this one, and you're getting a worse version of the animated one that they made. It's like, why wouldn't you just watch that one? It's the same thing with, like, their Aladdin. Or, like, what are all they've made so many, or like Mulan, or like any of the other live action ones they made. It's like, why? Why would you just... Okay, the Jungle Book one was funny because Christopher Walken was the big orangutan, and he sang. That was funny for me. But I don't know, it's just like, I see the live action ones, and like, live action is so weak because it's just drenched in CGI that it's like, you're just animating it again. Like, shut up. But it's just, I don't know, I'd rather them just make new things. Or like, if they're going to do a live action thing, do something like Maleficent, where it's like a different look at the tail and not just the animated one again, but worse. The costumes, I will say, were generally good. I did like Belle's like peasant outfit and like her other dresses, but I hate her stupid ball gown because it looks so bad. I feel like when they made the Cinderella one and they made that big, beautiful blue dress with all those different colors in it and sparkles and all the different layers of the skirt, and everyone loved it, I feel like they're like, oh my god, we need to do that again. And then they made a lame dress for Emma Watson that doesn't look anything like the period it's supposed to be from. It barely looks anything like the animated one, and it just kind of looks like she's wearing craft singles as a dress. I hate it. I do like the little like gold flourishes on the dress, but like it's such a lame dress. I don't like it. I hate the craft single dress. I hate it. And also, like, the castle is over-designed. Like, there's too many little details, and the servants look worse. They're also over-designed. They're too detailed. You don't need that much detail. They look so bad. Ugh. And, okay. To add on to this, if you don't know, hi, I'm a theater nerd. Sorry. I have seen many a show on the stage. I have seen Disney's Broadway Beauty and the Beast. And it's nice. It's basically the animated one again, but it's on stage, so it's fantastical in seeing a theatrical stage production, which is its own whimsy. And they add more songs and stuff because musicals are typically like 2.5 hours, sometimes 3. So they have to pad it out more because this movie was like an hour and a half. So there are more songs in it. And one of my favorite songs in it is Home. Because in the animated movie that they made, Belle didn't really get a song. Like, she sings somewhere where she's like I want adventure in the great wide somewhere. She gets that, but that song is like 40 seconds long. It's so short. She doesn't get like a part of your world song, you know, or like reflection. She doesn't get that. So Home from the Broadway version is basically her signature song that she didn't get. And it's a great song. And like in this movie, they tease it. They tease the instrumental. When she first sees her room in the castle, they play the instrumental to Home. And when I heard it, I'm like, are they gonna make Emma Watson sing this song? Because it's kind of a meme at this point, but Emma Watson isn't necessarily a singer. I don't begrudge her that. It's just kind of how it was, and like they auto-tuned her to heck and back. But no, she didn't sing it, and I don't know what makes me more mad, that they teased me with it, or the idea of her singing it. I don't know. But I will say, I did like the songs that they did add to this movie. Days in the Sun, that the servants sing, and then Evermore that the Beast sings. I do like those 2 songs. Those are nice. And I do like that at the end they kind of keep aspects of their enchantments. Like Lumiere, I think, can still like light a little flame with his fingers. And then like the Beast, as the prince, he kind of like growls. So it's like, oh, interesting. You keep aspects. Very fun. And I do like that, like, they made Maurice like a clockmaker, and he's not like childish. He's kind of more just like soft and caring, and I do like that for him. I don't really get why they made Belle's mom like a bigger thing in this one. It felt so unnecessary. It felt like one of those, because like this was one of those movies where it was like all those criticisms we got about the animated one, we had to fix it. Mention Belle's mom, and it's like, you don't need to. You don't need to mention Belle's mom. We can assume that she died. Half of the Disney people don't have moms. It's fine. You just assume. But also, like, and then they add the stupid not time travel, but they add, like, the stupid travel book. Because not only does the Beast have, like, the mirror that lets him see whatever he wants, he just has to ask for it, but he also gets a book that lets him travel wherever he wants. So it's, like, two things mocking him with his curse. It's just like, why? Why add the book? It's so unnecessary. Like, just to take her to her old home where she grew up as a baby. I don't know. It seems so stupid. Also, speaking of books, the library didn't mean as much this time either. One, it looks worse. You can't beat the animated library. That thing's just too cool. But, like, in this one, he kind of just, like, Belle is just like, oh my god, books are so cool, holy crap. And then the Beast is like, you can use it, it's yours, whatever, I don't freaking care. It's like, it doesn't mean anything. In the animated one, he, like, went out of his way to be like, this is to repay you, this is all yours, I hope you love it, you're so happy, yay, that makes me happy. This one, he's just like, whatever. They don't seem to like each other. Like, these two don't really have chemistry. They're just like, they're just there together. Also, the servants tell Belle about the curse, which adds a weird weight onto Belle to be like, hey Belle, we're cursed, and if this curse doesn't get fixed, we're gonna turn into furniture that can't move. Now she's got, like, this weight on her shoulders of, like, oh, if I don't fall in love with the Beast, then these freaking people are just gonna die. Okay. I don't. They made the town go from being like, she's weird, to being, like, antagonistic to her. And I guess they kind of make it so it's, like, kind of connected to, like, the Beast's curse. But it's just like, why? It's like they don't do anything with her inventing a washing machine. She doesn't invent again. Like, what's the point? Like, why set that up for her to never invent something ever again? I don't know. Also, the whole, like, oh, LeFou is Disney's first gay character. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Oh, Small Bull, why are you so... She... oh. Okay. I don't mean, like, a literal, like, electric washing machine. There's a part towards the beginning where she's, like, in the village. She... Because, like, this is back when, like, they would wash clothes in, like, the river or, like, a fountain, right? So there's, like, a fountain in town, and she's, like, washing clothes, and then she looks at, like, this donkey that she has with her. And basically, she ties the donkey to this barrel, and in the barrel, she lets water from the fountain seep in with soap in the clothes, and then the donkey walks around in circles. So the donkey is turning the barrel, essentially making a washing machine. So yeah, she invents a washing machine, basically, and they just don't do something with that again. Also, they do a thing where, like, because in the animated one, the Beast didn't know how to read, and Belle, like, taught him how to, and he learned to appreciate reading, one, because he got to spend time with Belle, but two, because, like, reading's just cool. Read books. And in this one, he, like, is well read, and he, like, challenges her on the books that she likes, because she's like, oh, I like Romeo and Juliet, and he's like, oh, that's really typical, and it's like, she's trying to, like, bond with you, and you're calling her, like, basic? Like, freaking shut up. What the heck? I don't know, it's just, I just see this one, I'm like, why would you ever pick this one? I don't know why. I don't know why you would pick this one over, like, the animated one. Or even some of the other ones on this list. It's just, it's made to aggravate me. Ewan McGregor is even in it. He's Lumiere. I love Ewan McGregor. And he couldn't even save it. I don't know, like... Generally speaking, my hatred for the idea of live-action Disney movies, and this one in particular aside, it's probably like a B or like an A, because, like, the foundation of it is a good movie, So, like, it has that going for it, but, like, for me personally, it's a Be Gone. It makes me mad. It just makes me mad. Stupid craft singles dress. Oh, I forgot. Oh, this is still up here. Go away. Stupid craft singles dress. Be gone. That's a thing, like, at least with, like, Maleficent, like, it's a different story. So you're not watching Sleeping Beauty again, but worse. You're watching a different story. And even, like, I don't really like Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland. I don't think it's a good story for Alice in Wonderland. But, like, you can at least say it's different. It's its own thing. It can be set apart as its own thing. It's its own flair. But, again, it's like, there's the other, like, live action Disney ones, it's just like, it's just worse versions of things they've already made. Watch the ones they already made. Alright, I'll get off my soapbox. Now back to things that I like. Oh, wait. Oh god, I had to explain this one. Yay, because those just look like two dudes. Okay, hold on, let me get a picture. Alright. Get out of here, craft singles. Oh god, this image is huge. Bleh. 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 Okay. I'll try not to talk too long about this one. But no promises. Alright, these two are from Once Upon a Time, which is a ABC show from 2000 that, well, it ran from 2011 to 2018. There were a couple spin-offs as well. So Once Upon a Time, I don't know if it was always a Disney thing. It may have been, but it definitely, the Disney influence definitely got worse in later seasons. So yeah, and Once Upon a Time, basically all the fairy tales live together in the same world. So like Snow White, Cinderella, Rumpelstiltskin, Jack and the Beanstalk, Red Riding Hood, Sleeping Beauty, all of them. Pinocchio, they were all here. Grimm's fairy tales, Hans Christian Andersen, all of them, they were all here. And the evil queen from Snow White's fairy tale gets mad because she loses the throne, and she curses everybody to get sent to our world. And basically, she creates a town called Storybrooke. And everybody there, I think they're technically frozen in time. I don't think any of them age. But basically they're all given human equivalents. So like, for example, the Jiminy Cricket, who is Pinocchio's conscience, right? In Storybrooke, he is the town like psychiatrist, for example. Snow White is a grade school teacher. Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother run both a bed and breakfast and a diner. Rumpelstiltskin runs a pawn shop and is one of the richest people in town, and that's just to name a few. And the evil queen is the mayor of the town. And basically, main character was from that forest, but her family sent her through like this tree that like protected her. So she didn't grow up in Storybrooke. She grew up in like, again, like New York or something. And she gets brought back to town for reasons, and she learns about all this and learns about who she was and blah 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 blah. I don't necessarily recommend this show. The first season is the best one in my opinion. It's honestly, if you're fine with like kind of cheesiness, but it's still like kind of cute, I think the show's like fine. Like it's not like, it's not gonna be like the best thing you've ever seen, but oh my god, okay, hold on, side thing. The 1987 TV series that we talked about earlier, I forgot to mention. Do you want to know who was the story overseer of this show? George R.R. Martin of Game of Thrones fame. Okay, anyway, back to Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Time. But yeah, the first season, in my opinion, is the best. The second season was okay. And the third season and onward, it kind of just slowly goes downhill from there. I have tried to rewatch this a few times, and I always get like a good chunk through the third season, and I just lose interest. It just the show gets so convoluted with like what character is who and who's related to who and blah 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 blah, and like the magic and stuff. And then, like, as I mentioned earlier, there's like Disney influence. Like, obviously you can tell this is Belle. She's got brown hair, she's wearing a yellow dress, but it's not one-to-one. Like, even her peasant outfit, which is a blue dress, like, it's still like a completely different looking dress, and it looks like Ren Fair ready. Like, she looks cute, she's great. So like, there's Disney influence, but they aren't one-to-one characters. Later on, there are seasons where literally Anna and Elsa, plucked from Frozen, are in the show, and they just look like bad cosplays. And like, they had Maleficent in the earlier seasons, and she looked really cool. And then later, she just looks like Angelina Jolie Maleficent, and it's like, why? Why did you... I know why you did, but don't. But... so for these two, I must say, so, okay, when this show came out, this was back in the time when, like, you know, Doctor Who, Sherlock, Supernatural, all those shows were, like, big with people that I went to school with, and I didn't care about any of them. None of them. None of them tickled my fancy. I liked Once Upon a Time. But yeah, first season's good. As for these two specifically, so, I do not ship characters often. Typically with me, I'm very vain. If I like a character, I ship them with me. They're my husband. I shipped these two very much. They're very cute together. Fluttercord is the other, like, literally, the ships that I, like, passionately shipped, I can name on one hand. I feel like a lot of girls, especially that were into anime, like when I was in middle school and high school, they had, like, so many ships. I was just like, which one can be my boyfriend? That was me. But, like, these two, oh my god. Okay, so they have an episode that is specifically, because, okay, the way the episodes work in Once Upon a Time, at least in the first season, half of it would be telling you a story from when they were in the Enchanted Forest world, and then the other half would be what's happening presently in the town. And their episode was my favorite from season 1. So, this is Belle. She's just Belle. She's not multiple fairy tale characters. Because, like, there are some characters that are, like, spoiler alert for this show that's 10 years old. Little Red Riding Hood, for example, she's also the werewolf. There's characters like that, where they're multiple people. So this character here is Rumpelstiltskin, but he's also the Beast. And it works so well. So, he's normally human, but he has this dagger that gives him magical abilities, and he's kind of OP, I won't lie. So he's like all like gross and silly, and he's very fun in like the first couple of seasons because he speaks in like a funny little voice, and he's just so fun. These two are really, like, I really liked them in the show. They're just so cute. Their episode is funny because like the start of it is like, because like Belle's dad is like a lord. And I think there's like a war going on, and Rumpelstiltskin just shows up. And he's like, I can help you win this silly little war of yours, because like he's magical and he can literally do like whatever. Like he's genuinely kind of busted. And they're like, okay, what do you want in return? And he's like, I want Belle. And he says he wants her as like to like basically work for him, like clean his big castle and stuff. Belle agrees, even though her dad insists otherwise. And like at first he's kind of mean to her, but like slowly over the course of like the episode, like you see them like bonding and it's cute, and like they're like slowly learning about each other and they have cute moments, and it's like, oh my gosh. There's a part where like Gaston comes to the castle to save Belle, and like Rumpelstiltskin answers the door and he's like pointing a sword at him and he's like, I'm here to steal Belle back from you, you foul beast. And he just snaps his fingers and Gaston turns into a rose. And he gives the rose to Belle. Gaston literally exists just to be a rose. But yeah, their episode, it's so good. It's so good. And like by the end of the episode, like the evil queen like kind of tricks, because like normally Belle isn't allowed to leave the castle, right? Because that's typically how it is. And like Rumpel's starting to fall in love with her, and he basically kind of like gives her a test almost, and he's like, go into town and buy me some straw so I can spool into thread, or spool into gold, because he's also Rumpelstiltskin, and you know, he's also the beast, blah blah blah. And she was like, wait, you're letting me leave? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, what if I don't come, like what if I like just didn't come back? Like, do you trust me? And he's like, oh no, I expect you to never come back. But she does. But like when she's like walking, the evil queen basically is like, he's cursed, he's normally human, but a true love's kiss should save him. So she like goes and comes back, he's touched about it. It's honestly really cute, because he's like looking out the window of like his tower and he sees her coming back and he gets so happy and excited. He's like, oh my god, she actually came back. And she's like being all like coy about it. She's like, whatever. And like they're just talking, and she kisses him, and it actually starts to work. He starts to turn into a normal dude, and she's like, kiss me again, it's working. And he's like, what? And she's like, I'm breaking the curse. And here's the thing, Rumpelstiltskin's whole conflict in this show is that the dagger gives him magic, and without the dagger he's just a dude with a limp leg, and he doesn't want to be a weak coward. And magic gives him power, so he doesn't have to be a coward. But he's actually a coward because he's hiding behind his magic. Ooh. So he doesn't want the curse to be broken, so he freaks out at Belle. He tells her to leave. Blech. If you're wondering what Belle is in Storybrooke, technically, the evil queen didn't want Rumpelstiltskin to know that she was there, because in the Enchanted Forest, she told him that she died, that her dad killed her. And, so in Storybrooke, she's in an insane asylum. And in the last couple episodes of the first season, he gets her out because he learns that she's alive. Or like, no, she gets let out, and like someone tells, I forget who lets her out, but they're like, look for Mr. Gold, because that's his Storybrooke name. Isn't that so cute? But yeah, they're really cute together. The problem with them is that, from what I remember, they have the same conflict for like several seasons. Oh yeah, also, I forgot to say, after she gets like released, because he's rich in town, he buys her the town library, and she's the librarian. Isn't that cute? Or no, I think everyone pays rent to him, so he technically owns the library already. But either way, he gives her a library, which is cute. But like their conflict is the same of like Belle being like, you don't need the dagger, we can just be happy and love each other, and Rumpelstiltskin being like, no, I need the power. And like that's their conflict a lot, from what I remember. Not forever, but that is a lot of it. But yeah, I love Belle. I love, I think her actress's name is Emily DeRaven. She's very good. She's Australian, so we get a little Australian Belle. Very cute. I love her outfits. They dressed her so cute, both in the fairy tale world and in Storybrooke. I like Rumpelstiltskin being the Beast. Not all of their, like, I'm this character, but I'm also this character works, but I feel like this one works really well. It's hard for me to tier this because I never technically finished the show, and every time I try to rewatch it, I stop. It's on Disney Plus if you want to watch it. So, like, if I went purely off of their, like, season 1 interaction, like, it's one of my favorites. I love it. But, like, them over the whole show, I technically haven't seen it. So, do with that information what you will. Also, thanks for being with me during this stream. This has been a long stream of me just yapping. I thought about doing this in parts, but we're so close to the end now, I kind of want to just muscle through it. I'll try to talk faster, or like, not talk as much. I appreciate all of you. Okay, this one. This is The Tale of the Crimson Flower, or it's also called The Scarlet Flower. It's technically from 1952. It's Russian, but it got dubbed in the 90s. Interesting about this one, it is completely rotoscoped. If you don't know what rotoscoping is, it is an animation thing where people would either film real people moving or take pictures and draw over it to get really fluid animation. The Rankin Bass, Hobbit, Lord of the Rings movies did rotoscoping. There's a lot of older black and white cartoons that did rotoscoping, like there's a lot of Betty Boop ones that did. But rotoscoping is really cool, but I believe this one's entirely rotoscoped. It moves very fluidly. It's genuinely, like, very beautiful. The colors are very beautiful. It has a very unique palette to it. It's a lot of, like, reds and whites and a lot of, like, pale blue-greens. It's cool. Now, the English dub, the Beast is voiced by Tim Curry, and he is doing his all. I love him in this movie. It's so good. The minute I saw that Tim Curry was headlining this, I was so excited. This Beast is also really interesting. He's like a plant monster. And he just kind of, he doesn't really look scary, or he's just a little guy, because he's like this swamp monster looking thing with big, like, uwu eyes. He's so cute. The red flower might be important since he's like plant-based, but they don't explicitly say like the flower is tied to his life. So since it's Russian, her beauty's name is Anastasia, but when her dad steals or tries to steal the flower, like they don't say like it's connected to his life or anything. So I don't know. This Beast treats her very well. There's even one point where he's like, I can't really stop you from leaving, and it's like, what are we doing here? Tim Curry Beast, what are we doing here? He's like, this whole castle is yours, everything is yours, I can't even stop you from leaving, you're the master. Okay, that's like, you're very defeatist there. But yeah, like, it is a lovely adaptation. I really like this one. It's very beautiful. I would honestly give it a A tier. There's one scene I want to show you though, because when I watched this the first time, it made me laugh. Because for most of the movie, Anastasia does not see the Beast. Where the heck is it? There it is. And then she accidentally, she's singing, which by the way, Tim Curry does not sing in this version. Makes me sad. But she's singing and he's listening to her, and when she's done, like a scarf of hers like falls in the water and she sees him, and she freaks out. And the noise that Tim Curry makes is so funny to me. I don't know if this is going to be funny to you, but it was funny for me. Because it's Tim Curry, he's so like, it's kind of quiet, so if I need to play it again, let me know. But because it's Tim Curry, it's so dramatic, he's just he just gets so sad. I played this like 3 times when I watched this the first time because it was just so funny to me. He was so distraught, wasn't he? He's just a little guy. Okay, so you might notice that there's this spiky gentleman down here, and it's fitting because this movie is called Spike, and it's from 2008. It's the horror one, I guess. He's like a thorn monster man. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a rose thorn thing or if he's just like a porcupine man. I don't know. He's covered in thorns everywhere besides like the palms of his hands and like obviously like his nose and his mouth and his eyes. This one is interesting because the Beast and the Beauty in this one, they've actually known each other since childhood. And he's like obsessed with her, and he's also like very poetic and artsy. And like, I gotta be honest, this movie was just kind of really boring to watch. It basically, I forget the girl's name, so I'm just gonna call her Beauty or Belle. But Beauty is either going to or coming home from a ski trip with her boyfriend and 2 lesbians, and they like almost hit something, and the truck like drives down into like the woods and gets all messed up, so they're kind of stuck. And there's like a really trippy like dream moment that the boyfriend has, and then nothing like that ever happens again, so it's like I don't know what that was about. But like basically from then on it just kind of becomes like kind of slasher movie-esque where like they're kind of getting picked off one by one, and like there's one of the lesbians is like frantically trying to get them to go home, and then the other lesbian is like, no, we gotta save them. And it's just he has her wear this like gaudy yellow dress that looks like a bad costume, and that may have been the point because this dude like lives in the forest, so where is he gonna get a good costume? But I still didn't like it. This movie takes place entirely in a normal forest, like not even a whimsical one, a normal forest at night, so it's kind of boring to look at. They don't do anything interesting with like the colors or anything, and like I'm sure this movie was kind of cheap, but it's just like that wasn't interesting about it either. Interesting things. There's like 5 people in this movie. The 4 people that were coming home from the ski trip, and then the Beast, and that's it. And then they did one interesting thing that I thought was cool, but then they didn't touch on it after this one conversation. So there's this one part where the 2 of them are arguing because the Beast guy is like, because he's always had spikes since he was a kid. It's just when he was a kid, they weren't as bad. And I guess, like, again, like I said, they were friends ever since they were kids. So he's talking to her, and he was like, he basically goes at her with, if I looked normal, like, we would be lovers, we would be dating, we would be together. Like, all that's stopping us is how I look. And then she like challenges him back with like, you only love me because I was the only one that talked to you. If it was any other girl, you would have fallen in love with her all the same. There's nothing special with me, it's just because she was the one person that he got close to. And he doesn't argue back. That scene just kind of stops, or like they hear a noise and like the conversation ends, and they don't continue that. And I'm like, okay, well, that was I just noticed the music stopped. But anyway, it's like, okay, so you brought up this like interesting conversation and then it just stops. It's like, okay, fine, all right. Besides that conversation, the only other interesting thing was that at the very end, they're trying to escape. And basically it's just Beauty and the frantic lesbian left. Beauty runs toward, like, she runs up this hill. And the lesbian is trying to follow her, but, like, the Beast catches up to her, and he's looking at her, and he's like, if you go this way, and he points, like, to the right, and he's like, keep following for, like, a mile. You'll reach the road, and follow that, and you'll find, like, a gas station or something. You'll be able to get help. And she follows that. He follows Beauty, and she's, like, falling off this cliff, and he's trying to save her. And she's, like, trying to get him to, like, let her go. And he pulls her up to save her, but when he does that, he pulls her, like, into him, like, into his chest. So his spikes pierce right through her, and she dies. So that's poetic. That's interesting. And he, like, sadly, like, sings over her dead body. But it's like, I don't know, this movie was just, like, they had, like, one interesting convo, and then the death at the end. But otherwise, it's just, it's not good. It's not. It wasn't interesting. It was not interesting at all. Okay, these two are kind of connected, but also, again, not really. They're only connected because they're both stop motion. And they're both from the 80s, or this one's possibly from the 70s, I'm not sure. So this one is a Danish stop motion one. It is so precious. This one is very interesting because there is only the puppets and music. There are no vocals whatsoever. There's no narrator, there's no nothing. You only get the story from, like, the movements and scene changes and them, like, emoting with, like, the puppets, like, moving. And it's beautifully made. I really like the Beast design. He's just like a boar, but, like, his outfit is very, like, fun, and he has, like, puffy pants and puffy sleeves, and I like it very much. And, like, it does show them, like, bonding. Like, he like, draws her, and she like sits with him and stuff, and it shows, like, 3 different scenes of them just, like, doing things together, and it's cute. I really like the designs of the puppets, like, generally speaking. And I think they emote very well, even though there's no speaking, and their faces don't even change. Like, they don't even have different, like, facial features, but I think it's great. I almost think, like, adding vocals to it would be, like, detrimental to it. I think it would make it worse. I really like this one. I almost kind of want to put in an S. I'm gonna put in an amazing. This one I don't like as much. This one has an elephant as the Beast, which is something. I think this one is German. Specifically, like, East German. You know, when that was going on. Like, the puppets are still very well made. This one does have both a narrator and the characters speak, so that is something. So if you prefer having voice actors, there you go. This one is also interesting in that Beauty is an only child. There's also, like, a fairy godmother that that names Beauty. Like, her dad doesn't even get to name her Beauty. She's just like, she's beautiful. Her name's Beauty. It's like, well, okay. Also, like, there's a scene where, like, the Beast asserts that he's awful. He's ugly. And then he's like, and then in the same sentence, he's like, Beauty, am I really that bad? Am I that ugly? And she's, like, distraught over this. And then he's like, so will you marry me? And it's like, dude, learn how to have a conversation. Now, this one is neat in that the Beast does tell Beauty to go to her dad when he's sick, and she has to go home. So that's kind of neat. I don't think the flower means anything. I think the roses, and, well, in the silent one, it's kind of hard to tell, but I don't think the rose is special in this one. It's a fine adaptation, and it gets charm for being, like, stop motion. So, like, for that, it's probably a B. We only have 1 row left. Let's do this, gamers. Oh god, we have the anime one. Or the most well-known anime one. Alright, this one. This one is Belle the Anime from 2021. I thought it was older. So, this one, there's a whole like plot thing about like it being about video games. But generally speaking, it's very beautifully animated. The music is good, though I will admit the first, because there's singing in it, the Belle does sing. The first song is the best song in my opinion. Like, all the songs are good, but the first one's the best. I love the Beast design, and Belle's design for that matter. But the Beast is interesting because he's like a dragon. And he has like this cape that has like very interesting markings, and you learn later like why he has those, and it's very cool. Weird thing about this one, there are some scenes where it recreates scenes from the Disney movie one for one. It's obviously an homage. Pausing the music again. There's a video that shows it. Like, it's a very short amount of time in the movie. Because, like, this movie's, like, 2 hours long, but it moves very fast. It does not, like, things are schmoving in this movie. Like, it's only a minute and a half, but it's something where, like, if you've seen the Disney one, you're gonna be like, I've been here before. So here, let's have a watch.
Trespassing.
No,
And he shouldn't have trespassed here.
No!
That hurts!
You'd I came here because I wanted to ask you something.
I hope you like it here. Why did you come here?
I'm sorry.
Like, it's literally like one for one. It's but yeah, like there's just a lot of homages. It's cute. And like generally I really like the movie, besides like the ending. The ending's kind of weird. 'Cause like, I do think you should watch this movie, so if you haven't seen it, don't listen to me for a little bit. But like the way that this universe works is that there's basically a game that's like VR, but when you sign into it, you don't create an avatar. The game makes you one based off of like you and your personality and who you are as a person. Because like the main girl, she's kind of put off because she's given such like a pretty avatar. She was like, why is this made for me? Is this from when my friend was using it, or like what? So they like reflect, your avatar reflects you in some way, which is cool. But like the Beast, he's called the Dragon in this one, but he has like all those markings on him, and like the entire time she's trying to figure out like what they're from. And you learn it's because he's in an abusive situation, and those are essentially bruises showing up on his game character. And his character is given like this really strong appearance because he's protecting his younger brother. Also, side note, Belle basically becomes like a VTuber idol. She like does concerts and stuff. It's neat. She's like, because like she has a whole arc about like getting into music again because her mother was into music, but her mother died, so she would get sick trying to like do it again. So doing it in the game was like an escape for her. There isn't like a rose in this one, but Belle's most like iconic dress is red flower themed, so you could say that's the homage to it. But yeah, the thing with the ending is like they learn that the kid's getting abused and they basically try to like live stream the abuse, I think, so people like know what's going on or something. I might be misremembering, but they end up trying to figure out how to save him. And the girl goes on her own because I guess there's like laws in Japan where like it has to be like 48 hours after something happens for like the police to get involved or something. I forget what it is, but there's like a contingency where like the police can't get involved right away, even though there's like evidence or something. So she goes to try to like stop them from like getting abused more. And oh, side note, before I continue that, this is one of the few Beauty and the Beast where like there isn't a romance. Because Belle is like, she's like a high school student, and the Beast in this scenario, he's like a middle schooler. He's younger than she is. Like she's like thinking about like college and stuff, so she's like almost an adult and he's basically like a tween. Because there's that one part where like they do dance together and she like goes to kiss him and he gets super bashful. And then, like, she ends up, like, I think she either, like, hugs him or, like, gives him, like, a kiss on, like, the top of his head. I forget which. But, like, that's when she realizes, like, oh, he acts like a kid. It's like a kid. But anyway, so, like, she goes to try to, like, stop their dad from, like, abusing them. And it's just a really weird climactic thing where, like, she just has like a showdown with him, kind of. I don't remember what she says. The dad just, I don't know, seems like put off by her or like remorseful for like a moment. So then, but then she just like leaves them there. Like I thought she was gonna take the boy and his brother like back with her. But no, they're just like, we'll be fine now. And it's like, until the authorities can come, and it's like 2 days from now? Okay, sure. Besides the ending, I honestly really did like this movie. Even though the pacing is kind of odd because it does move fast and a lot happens. I think I give it an A tier. Go up there. Oh, also side note, some of the tech in it didn't really make sense, but like I was able to suspend my disbelief because it's like, okay, that doesn't really make sense, but I'll just accept it. Also, I'd love to see what kind of avatar I would get based off of my personality. That would be fun. But anyway, this other Belle. So this came out last year, 2023. It's R-rated, I believe, and I think Spike was too. I don't remember. This one, I believe it's supposed to take place in Iceland. The cinematography of it is really, really good. The Beast isn't like a literal monster. He's just like a cannibal man that's cursed, but he's only a cannibal when he sleeps. And it takes them forever to figure that out. This movie just seems to be Belle in a bunch of toxic relationships and her having to navigate them, because like the Beast holds the idea of her dad's death over her head a couple times and it's like, you're messed up, buddy. Because like her dad gets sick and they get a rose. I forget where they get the rose from, but she learns from this witch lady that like, because I think the rose is from the cave that the Beast dude is chilling in. And she's like, have your dad consume the rose. I forget if she like makes a soup with it or something, or like a drink, I forget, but he consumes it somehow. And they're like, he's like immediately better. And they're like, oh, how long will this last? And she's like, until morning. And they're like, why? And basically Belle has to stay on like near the Beast for her father to stay healthy. So that's why he keeps like holding it over her head whenever she tries to like like, leave. They do have sex, which I guess is interesting. Not many of these ones bang, so that's something, I guess. I don't know. He's also cursed because he didn't fall in love with the witch that I had mentioned. And she's petty and cursed him. I guess. By the end of it, everyone, even like Belle's like dad and other people that had like shown up from like where she lived, literally everyone is dead but her. But she's a strong independent woman that fixed the roof leak that was shown in the beginning of the movie. Because like the cinematography of this movie is cool, but like this was just so like, if you like Beauty and the Beast, which this is definitely how it's advertised, I don't think you're gonna like get anything that you like from Beauty and the Beast in this movie. Like, I guess it's interesting, but I don't know, they were just kind of frustrating to watch at times. So, it's an oh no from me, general. What we got next? Oh! We have Manga Sekai Mukashi Banashi, Beauty and the Beast from the 70s. It's from 1976. So it's 70s anime. Love that. I love 70s anime style. It's so cool. The opening to this is very, very cute. It's a very cute opening song. Again, the 70s animation charm. Love it very much. There's a narrator for this, and the narrator voices everyone. They voice literally everyone. It's kind of interesting because I was like, why does the Beast kind of sound like a woman? And then it made sense. This anime does light very interesting, and they play with like a lot of swirls in the designs. There's a lot of swirls everywhere. I like that. Like there's a lot of swirls in her hair. There's a lot of swirls in the Beast's mane. There's a lot of swirls in the design. There's just swirls everywhere. I like it. There's a part where the Beast saves her from like this big falcon, and she's patching him up even though he's like, no, Belle, I'm scary. And she's like, ah, shush. This Beast is also another Beast that tells her about her dad and how her dad's sick and that she should go home, which I do like. It's very selfless. This one's also short. I forget how long it is, but this is another short one. Fun thing. She doesn't dance with the Beast, but she does go home and dance with her dad, so that's fun. Also when she goes back and like the Beast is like dying from loneliness and she kisses him or whatever, he has like a very simple but cool transformation scene of just like, it's very simple. Like it basically, like the Beast in him just kind of like melts and like reverts away. But I don't know, I really liked it. It's simple, it's good. It's a lovely adaptation. The only thing is, if you look up this one to watch it, there aren't subtitles, but it's like 10 minutes long and I got the vibe and I enjoyed it. Okay, this next one, sorry, the picture is so bad. This is Beauty and the Beast Ruby Spears from 1983. The voice acting in it is fun and probably the most notable thing about it. The animation is fine. It's very 80s. It feels like you're watching an episode of He-Man. There's also like He-Man voice actors in it, so that might be part of it. The Rose is also not special, so darn. There's a Dream Prince in this one again. And he acts like him and the Beast are like completely different people, because like typically dream princes, they don't say that they're the same person, but they also don't say that they're different people. This dude literally just acts like they're completely different, and it's like, no, you're the same. Also, there's a part where the Beast is like whining to Beauty. It's like that she won't marry him, and he's literally like, why are you so cruel to me? And it's like, Because you imprisoned her? Buddy, what do you mean? The Beast also has an ability to make, like, a smoke demon to protect the castle, because her brothers try to come save her. And then they immediately get beat by the smoke demon. Also, like, another thing I'll say about this one, this one's just so whatever, like, it's fine. But, like, Belle becomes friends with, like, these birds in this, like, big bird sanctuary, but then when she leaves to spend time with her family and then comes back, and, like, the Beast is dying from loneliness, everything else in the castle is dead, like, the plants are dying and everything, the birds are dead. Her bird friends are dead. Why give her bird friends just for them to die? That's so rude. Yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. This is another anime one. This is Grimm's Fairy Tales Beauty and the Beast, I believe from the 90s. I want to make a note. Beauty and the Beast is not a Grimm's fairy tale, it's its own thing. But the style of this one is very cute. It moves pretty fast, like there's a narrator and he's like really like snapping through it, because I think this one is also like 20 minutes long. But it's cute, and like they actually do have chemistry together, because like she's wary of him at first, of course, but like he tries to make her comfortable by like playing music for her, getting her to laugh, and then like when they're friends, she makes him feel better by like making him better clothes to like make him like feel more normal, or like more like she makes him like brighter clothes as well, so it's not as like dirty looking, I guess, because he kind of just looked like he was wearing a burlap sack. He's like a troll thingy, which is interesting. Also, her name's not Beauty, her name is Maria. And whenever I watch it, I think about Shadow the Hedgehog. So normally, in Beauty and the Beast stuff, when the Beast threatens Beauty's dad to be like, if you don't come back here, or one of your daughters doesn't come back here, I'm gonna come find you and either like kill you or like bring you here myself or whatever. They typically just listen to him. This dad was like, nope, we're gonna ignore him. He shows up and steals Maria. He causes a whole scene. Also, this castle is unique. Half of the castle is in spring, and then the other half is in winter all the time. Kind of fun. His prince design kind of sucks. Like, he doesn't even have, like, the brown hair that he has as a beast. He's just, like, a blonde twink. I don't know. But it's really cute. I do really like this one. It is an A for me. Also, like, I know I'm kind of, like, shuffling them around. Don't take this order too seriously. Like, keep it vague. Alright. We have less than 10 to go, fellas. We got this. We're almost done. My voice is mad at me, but we got this. So I never knew about this one. When I was trying to find this stupid dragon one, I found this one. It's called Meridian. I think there's another name for it, but I don't remember what it was. It's from 1990. It takes place in Italy. It sets up a cool artist girl character that you think is going to be the protag, and then she's just not. And so it's kind of lame. But her and her other artist friend whose family has like this castle, so she like gets to live in this castle, are hanging out, and there's a carnival, and they go to the carnival and they have a fun time, and then they invite the carnival people back to the castle. And to keep this as friendly as I can, they basically get drugged and get assaulted, if you know what I mean. It's not great. The two ringleaders are cursed twins, and each of them assault one of the girls. And they basically have this curse where they turn into like these bat-ish monster beast things, these furry men things. and the curse can only be broken if their soulmate kills them or something. It's something like that. Most of the movie is the less interesting girl of the two just kind of going insane, trying to deal with all of this and like seeing apparitions and stuff. The other girl is like working on a painting that is secretly telling her the story of this curse. Yeah, I don't know. This one was just eh. It's okay. It's kind of like loosely Beauty and the Beast. Like there's not a rose or like an enchanted castle or servants or any of the things that like you'd expect. I don't know. This one was just, it was very like, I did not care for it. I liked ideas in it, but I did not. Excuse me. Alright. This one, anime. This one is loosely Beauty and the Beast, but I felt the need to include it. This is the Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts. I didn't know there was an anime until I was doing this. I've read most of the manga, and I really like the manga. I love the designs. I believe the main girl's name is Sophie. She's very cute. She normally wears like an all-white poofy dress, and she has short, floofy white hair. She's very cute. And then the Beast is like wears like black and has like gold and stuff, so they contrast very well. And then like their dynamic like throughout the story is really good. Spoiler, the Beast is like part human, so you do see a human design. I haven't finished the manga yet, but if he stays a human by the end of it, I'm gonna be mad, I won't lie. It's interesting because Sophie has to learn to like, because like she's given to him as like a sacrifice, but because of like who she is as a person and how like she carries herself, she basically becomes his queen. So she has to learn to be a queen and learn like what it means to be a queen, and like she also has to deal with the idea of like she's a human and like all these other animals are like, for lack of a better term, they're kind of racist against her, so she's got a lot to prove. It's cute because like the Beast likes her for like her kindness and like her purity, not in like a gross way, but in just like she's genuinely just like a very kind, like sweet, pure person. She sticks to her morals. And then there's a lot of side characters in this too. She has like 2 little blob sidekicks that are fun. And she's friends with like this like alligator princess lady, and she's cute. Like, or is she a snake? I think she's an alligator. Or like a lizard maybe? I don't know. She's some sort of reptile. But yeah, like a lot of side characters are fun. And the romance is sweet, and like they have cute moments together. So based on what I've read, I do really like it, and I would say it's an A tier, but obviously I haven't finished it, so like if the ending sucks, I can't be like, welp guys. Oh my god, this one. This one is, oh my god, this is Beauty and the Beast from 1981. This one is just so whatever. It's another like 10-minute one. The Beast has dumb little paws that I hate and are stupid. Honestly, like all the hands in this one just kind of look bad, even the human hands. And the rose isn't special again, whoop-de-doo. And like the Beast has like a very okay, one funny thing. The Beast has a very theatrical voice. He's very Shakespearean in the way he speaks. He's just like, well, beauty, will you please marry me? Oh, Lord. And he's just like what? It's a very, very theatrical. Sorry. Very theatrical performance. And then, like, Beauty is, like, oddly, like, very quickly sympathetic to him. It's probably because of the runtime, but still, it just feels fast. There's another Dream Prince. And, like, this, the general style of this cartoon just isn't really my fave. It hits the beats that it needs to hit to be like a Beauty and the Beast thing. But besides the Beast performance and the fact that this is narrated by James Earl Jones, it's fine. It does the job. Would I recommend it? No. Watch something else. Ancient Magus Bride. Another, I've read a chunk of the manga, but I didn't touch the anime. I've been meaning to, I just haven't. The thing about this show, and the manga for that matter, I have 8 volumes of the manga. I believe there are 20 currently. It's still ongoing. So there's not even an ending yet. But based on what I have read of it, the designs are so good. The designs in the show are amazing. The plot of this one is like the main girl Chisei is like a Japanese student that like her parents like ostracized her for some reason. And somehow she's in like London and she sells herself. Like she just I don't remember why, but like she decides to just sell herself. And Ilias, main guy, main skullhead man, he sees her there and he can tell that she's, I believe it's called a sleigh beggy. She's some type of like magical, she has magical abilities. But I guess sleigh beggies are like fated to die early, so he not only wants to like help her not die, but he also wants to learn how to be more human from her, because like he's weird because like other monsters and like fae people like think he's like he doesn't fit in with them, and then he obviously doesn't fit in with humans, so he does have like a human form that's pretty good. But like yeah, he doesn't really fit in anywhere, so he's trying to like learn from Chisei, and like Chisei has her own goals to like get better at magic, and she like gets familiars and like helps other people around. Do I want a non-spoilery reason for the whole sale thing? Sure, I'll take that. But yeah, based on what I know, like again, it's probably an A tier. It's just 1, it's not done, 2, I never saw the anime, and 3, I'm not caught up with the manga, so it's kind of hard to tell. But from what I do know, I would say it's great. Chisei is just giga depressed and kind of doesn't care about what happened to her. You know, that's fair. That kind of makes sense. I've been waiting for this one. This is Bevanfield Beauty and the Beast from '92. This one is a special kind of horrible. If like it's allowed, like if like I won't get in trouble with like Twitch or like a copyright thing or anything, I would love to stream this. It's so bad. So bad it's good. It does nothing well besides maybe like the backgrounds are painted nicely, but like the animation is bad, the audio mixing is bad, the singing is bad. There are animation mistakes that are very blatant and awful. Christopher Lee is here for some reason, and he plays kind of an incestuous cousin to Beauty. I don't know why, but Christopher Lee's here. You think Christopher Lee would be the Beast. They got Christopher Lee, but no. He's the Gaston of this one for some reason. One thing I will say about this one, it does make the rose important. So every time a rose dies in his garden, the Beast's life is shortened by 1 month. So, good job, Bevanfield, you did that. It's so bad that it's funny. And like, this movie has like a weird fascination with frogs. There's frogs in like the background design. Frogs just show up at like there's literally frogs everywhere. You'd think it's the Frog Prince, but no, it's Beauty and the Beast with frogs everywhere. It literally looks like the Frog Kingdom from Rhapsody. I'm not even joking. For entertainment purposes, this is a god tier fave because it's so awful. Realistically, at most it's a C. Honestly, it's probably a D. But for the entertainment value, it's a god tier fave. This is another one that I didn't know what it was until I was trying to find this stupid dragon one. So this one down here is called No Such Thing. It's from 2001. This is a movie that feels like it wants to be important. It's like 2 hours long. The Beast is kinda interesting. I do like his design, and his first outfit is fire. He got that on. It's good. He's also kinda interesting because, like, he's the only one of his kind, and he's lived before humans even existed. Like, he watched us evolve. That's how long he's been around. And he's like nothing can kill him. And he wants to die. That's his goal for the movie. He wants death. He can, like, breathe fire. He's an alcoholic. But this movie, like... Okay, I don't remember what our Belle here is named. Her character is, like, probably, like, 22 at the oldest. Because I think she's, like, fresh out of college. And I know, like, her character is young, but this character is just so naive that it's kind of frustrating. And there's a lot of setup to these two meeting, and then they finally meet, and then it feels like it moves too fast. Because it goes from, like, building up to her meeting him, to meeting him, and they kind of clash a little bit. And then all of a sudden he's listening to whatever she says. Because, like, normally he's, like, killing people and stuff, and she's like, if I'm helping you, because he wants to find this doctor that can maybe, like, let him pass on, so to speak. And she basically is like, I'll help you, but you have to promise not to hurt anybody. And he listens to her. And because of that, he also kind of just becomes a punching bag. And, like, there's this plot, because, like, she works for, like, a newspaper thing, I think. So, like, her boss wants to use him as, like, a story, and, like, she brought him there to, like, help him find the doctor through that way. First off, they get rid of his cool outfit, and they put him in a stupid normal suit, and I hate it. But, like, oh my god, there's this part where, like, it's after, like, they do, like, their first, like, press thing, and she's in this stupid dress, and I hate it. And they have separate hotel rooms, and she's just, like, partying, and he's, like, depressed and alone and in an unfamiliar place, and drinking and mad. And then the next day, she's just aggravating, because she goes to him, and she's like, I'm sorry I left you. We were just having a wild party last night. All the drinking and the sex, and it's like, oh my god. Like, you just brought this monster man from, like, Iceland or Finland. It just... One cool thing about this movie. So, there's a part where, like, she basically gets, like, paralyzed. And they use this, like, rare procedure to fix her. And it's in a very, like, unique contraption. By the end of the movie, when they're putting him in a contraption to, like, once they find the doctor and everything so he can actually die, the contraption looks oddly similar to the thing that saved her, which is nice and poetic, I guess. And, like, she also kisses him before he dies, but, like, they're not really, like, a romantic pair, so I don't know what was going on here. Also, one other thing, there's a part where he's, like, getting beat up in an alley because, like, he promised not to fight anybody, so he's a punching bag now. And someone just pees on him, and he never changes out of that suit again. So for the final, like, 10 minutes of the movie, I'm just like, he's in a pea suit. And that's all I could think about. He died in a pea suit. I don't know, this stupid movie. I didn't like this movie. It's a no-no from me. Like, I do like the Beast design, so it kind of, like, bumps it up a little bit. Like, there's some ideas I like, but it's just a Alright, 3. 3 left. We got this, homies. So this one is Kitty and the Beast from 1987. So if you didn't know, in the 80s, Hello Kitty had a cartoon called Hello Kitty's Furry Tale Theater, where every episode, her and her friends, her Sanrio friends, would put on a play for everybody, and it would be of some fairy tale. They've done Wizard of Oz, they did Beauty and the Beast, obviously, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, Little Red Riding Hood. They did Star Wars. I'm not even joking. They did Star Wars. There was a Star Wars episode. They also did Phantom of the Opera. The only thing about these is that because like they're like 12 minutes long, so it's very snappy, very quick. But for what it is, it's pretty good. It doesn't do a bad job. Also, a very young Tara Strong voices Kitty, and Cree Summers. She also plays a character whose name is escaping me. Weird thing about the show, there are characters in it that, like, I don't know if they count as Sanrio characters, because I've never seen them outside of this show. There's 2 cats and, like, a pit bull dog that I don't know if they've ever been seen anywhere else. And, like, there are other Hello Kitty, like, Hello Kitty's parents are here, I think. And, like, My Melody is here, and Tuxedo Sam is here. So, like, there's characters that, like, people are aware of in, like, Sanrio, but then there's other ones that it's just like, is this a Sanrio character? The theater aspect of this is very charming. I don't know, it's super cute. Also, every story, every play, Hello Kitty, like, narrates the beginning of it. Like, just, like, the very, very beginning. And every time she starts with Once Upon a Meow, it kills me. It's kind of hard to tear this one. It's so, like, gimmicky in a lot of ways. But I don't know, it means a lot to me. This was my childhood. I don't know, it's amazing. Screw you. This is my list. She's going right there. This next one is very special to me. So this one is special because it's the only one here that is not a movie or a cartoon. This one is a book. This one's a comic, actually. You can read it online for free. This is Megan Kearney's Beauty and the Beast. It ran from 2012 to 2019. I read this as it was coming out. It's very beautifully drawn. She has such a, like, great talent for lighting. She literally only uses black and white besides, like, the covers. And it's so beautiful. The artwork is just so good. She does this thing where before each chapter, she has, like, 3-ish flowers that she illustrates. And, like, if you don't know flower, there's, like, flower language. And the flowers that she would pick would foreshadow the mood / what would happen in that chapter. So if you were, like, savvy, you could kind of, like, guess what that chapter would entail, which was super cool. Also, this one makes Beauty's mom, like, incredibly important. And the Beast also has, like, issues that he has to work through. Even after, like, the curse is broken and everything, he has things he has to deal with. And it can also get, like, super dark. But I really like it. It's really good. Her family is also a lot more realistic, and they also have silly names like Beauty. Because one of her sisters is named Virtue, and the other one is named Temperance. But her family is also much more, like, I guess, yeah, relatable works, but, like, they're just a lot more realistic. They aren't just, like, caricatures of people. They feel like real people. Also, like, the Beast, he isn't, like, a beast necessarily because of, like, a curse. He's a beast because, like, the castle is, like, a character in itself. It is its own thing that makes contracts with people. And it's entirely enchanted. And the Beast had made a contract there. And he was like the arbiter of the castle for guests that would come in. And it's such a unique take. I love this version. It's so charming and darling to me. I've bought 2 of the books. There are 3 total. This is something where, like, if you have an afternoon and you, like, just don't have anything to do, you could read this in an afternoon. It's not that long. At least I don't think it's that long. I wish it was longer. And also, like, they bond over books, because, like, he's, like, well-read, so they'll, like, debate over, like, meanings of books, and it's good banter, but it's also, like, some, like, points of, like, oh god, what's the word? Like, tension for them. I don't know, it's so beautiful. Please read it. This is an S tier. A genuine S tier. It's so good. Megan Kearney's Beauty and the Beast. Alright. Originally, when I was planning this tier list, I was going to end on Megan Kearney's comic because, like, it was different from everything else and it meant a lot to me, and it's a really beautiful adaptation.
But then I remembered
George Lucas's Strange Magic. Okay. Hear me out. Strange Magic is definitely Beauty and the Beast inspired. So, George Lucas, he pitched this as, like, this was gonna be his Star Wars for girls, which it's like, Star Wars is for everyone, but, like, I kind of get what he means. So, this movie is about fairies. And then on, like, the other side of, like, this wall of thorns and bramble is, like, a bog. Oh my god, it's a WebP file. How dare you. The last one, really. And it's... they, like, made a deal or something to, like, never cross paths. And she does, like, by accident one day. And, like, shenanigans happen. And, like... hold on. I can't type while I talk, or I'll type what I say, or I'll say what I type, and it's not good for anybody. So I feel like a lot of people are turned off by this movie because of how it looks. I think mostly it's the fairies' faces. They have like very interesting proportions. Their eyes are really big, but they're also like their faces are kind of scrunched. I don't mind how it looks, but I can definitely understand if it's not for everybody. I love how the Beast, otherwise known as Bog, I love how he looks. I love his design. It's very good. I also love her color palette, the purples. It's also a jukebox musical. So, musicals are already kind of hard to sell for people. If you don't know what a jukebox musical is, a lot of the times that's even harder to sell people on. So, for those that don't know, a normal musical has like original music that was made for that property, like Disney stuff, for example. Or like Broadway musicals most of the time, but some Broadway musicals are also jukebox musicals. Jukebox musicals are musicals made up from songs that were made by artists that you hear on the radio. A popular example... So, for example, a popular jukebox musical is Mamma Mia. I think all the music in that one is by ABBA. And Moulin Rouge is another jukebox musical that uses music from a bunch of different artists. This one is like Moulin Rouge, where they use music from a bunch of different artists. Alan Cumming is Bog, which I love. I love Alan Cumming. He's great. He's so fun. And he does so well in this role. It's just, look, this movie is cheesy and it's cringy, but it's mine. It's mine and I'm free. It's mine. Also, you know how like George Lucas will like to like cameo and stuff? Marinette, I think is her. Is it Marinette? Or Marianne? I think it's Marianne. Marinette is freaking Miraculous Ladybug. Yeah, Marianne. Yeah, because Marianne is like a song. But anyway, Marianne's dad is visually a George Lucas cameo. George Lucas doesn't voice him as far as I remember, but he looks like him. Like it's literally just him. Hold on. Also, like the rival love interest kind of just reminds me of the Paul brothers, specifically Logan Paul. But like the plot of this one, basically like there's a love potion and there's a little fairy man that is in love with Marianne's sister, and Marianne's sister is kind of boy crazy. So like she doesn't notice that or anything, and she just kind of like hops from guy to guy in like a little cute flirtatious way. And she through a bunch of things, she accidentally gets love potioned onto Bog. So she's in love with Bog, and then Marianne tries to revolutionary girl Udina save her sister, because she learns she trains herself to fight with a sword after Logan Paul man cheats on her. It's great. She has a whole montage about it. So then she's basically trying to help Bog get her sister to not be under this spell anymore. Because like the love potions in this universe, they only work on people that are not in love. Because it's not real love. Because Bog, he hates love potions because he had tried to use one before, and the girl was already in love with somebody, so it didn't work, and she basically was like scared of him at that point, because it's like, wow, you just tried to love potion me, weirdo. But her sister isn't in love with anybody, so she's just like, yeah, whatever. So they're trying to like fix that, and they have like a lot of fights together, but it's cute. Sue me. And also like Bog stays like this like gross little bug man for forever, and that's my favorite. I love that. And like the ending's cute. It's a little trippy, honestly. They turn into like a kaleidoscope thing at the end for some reason. I don't know why. But like, oh my god, I don't know. This movie, it like, okay, hold on, before I show you George, here's the thing. With a lot of these movies, it's like, I feel like I could recommend Belle. I could recommend like the two like French Beauty and the Beast. I could even recommend like to people that aren't like me and this isn't like the thing that you're into. Like I could recommend these as like a viewing experience. I could recommend Beastly as a so bad it's good kind of thing. I could recommend the stop motion one for like the art of it. I could recommend this for like the kid aspect of it. And like if you have kids, like this is a cute Beauty and the Beast movie to watch. And this was made for like me and people like me, and I am cringe and I am free, and for me it's an S tier. I love this movie. And I don't really know how to tier it otherwise, because it's also just, it's such a weird movie. Like I don't know how else I would tier this. Like, because some of these, like, I can objectively say, like, obviously you know, the Hello Kitty one isn't amazing, beautiful, great, but like it meant a lot to me, and it's cute, and it does some things right, so it's up here. But I can understand, like, realistically, it's probably like a B tier, or it's probably just fine, or something like that. Or like Beastly, like for me it's an S tier because it's silly, but I can recognize that it's an oh no kind of movie. But like with Strange Magic, that's my guilty pleasure. I love this thing. I love this thing so much. And there's so many elements to this freaking movie that's such a hard sell. The animation looks weird. The plot is Beauty and the Beast-ish. It's a jukebox musical. It's so nerdy and so very like specific ways, but it was made for me. So thank you, George. You made this for me. Speaking of George, hold on. It's literally him. It's literally him. This is the Fairy King. It's literally Mr. Lucas. Oh my god. Fellas. We did it. It only took almost 6 hours, but we did it. Well. Did everyone have fun? But yeah, like, I love Beauty and the Beast. It's my favorite trope. I love it so much. I'm sorry there was so much info. And the thing, I try to abbreviate a lot of it, like, I think the only way that I could have made this, like, more intense would be if I literally went one by one and explained, like, the synopsis of all of them in depth. Also keep in mind, like, this is me as somebody that's super into Beauty and the Beast comparing adaptations. I don't know if there's any other freaking Beauty and the Beast fans, but if somebody comes in and is like, this list is awful, it's like, well, I don't know, man. Sorry. I don't know, I think I'm content with it. Again, like, don't take the order, like, super seriously. It's very loose.
Can no longer hold it back. My heart is filled with love, the feeling of love for you.
I can feel your precious heart holding your hand in mine. I feel the special love we have.
Is it just a fantasy?
It's not a fantasy.
Are we dancing in a dream?
It's not a dream.
I never ever want to wake up from the sweet, sweet dream.
It's our world, our love is everywhere. To the sky, our hearts will soar above.
Our hearts will soar above. It's our world, our love is everywhere.
Our love is everywhere.
We can fly
together on the wings of love. It's a wonderful feeling, be in love with you.
Please never go.
I'll always stay. I never want to stop dancing with you. This is our world,
And I love you, my prince.